please?
Did that
I wasn't
happen?
ready. You scared me.
I'll make sure I have a full minute of warning next time. Sorry.
He started streaming. I said, "Oh F, I'm not ready."
Oh, God, that's
And I
so
was like,
funny.
"Wait a second."
I immediately chastise him for it.
I like how you started stream, did not introduce the game, and just immediately started.
Look, it's in the stream title, okay?
Hey guys, this is a indie Yuri VN where there's toxic Yuri going involved. Is there any warnings attached to this actually?
You know what? That actually would be a good thing to
I would.
look up. Hold on.
I know that on the Steam page they probably have some.
Yeah, I'll look it up and I should have the Steam page ready.
I would just by guessing, probably body horror.
Body
would be a
horror
thing.
is a definite trigger warning. Let's see.
One of the best types of horror, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If done well, yes.
That's true.
I
yeah.
would already go ahead and classify this based on what I've sort of like vaguely looked at as a pseudo horror.
Yeah.
I think it is a bit light on that though. And then here we go. Some nudity, such as written and visual depiction of a female character in the bath, mentions of sex and masturbation. There is no sexually explicit art in the game, however. There's also some crude language.
We just
Wow.
mentioned Jork in it.
Yeah. They mention Jork in it, and we get demonetized immediately. Oh, here we go. Nope,
Yeah.
never mind. I lied. I did not find it.
Oh.
I'll just look it up online. I'm sure somebody's probably compiled them because queer people be like that. We just be like
Did you
that.
not find it on the Steam page? Didn't the last one have stuff on the Steam page?
It did have stuff on the Steam pages, is why I'm a little confused.
Oh.
Not good to Steam pages. The paper gets wet.
Trigger warnings.
The mushrooms on this
Or-
title screen just make me think of freaking
Love.
the clickers from The Last of Us. And
Oh
how well
yeah,
done-
yeah.
They were so well done. That was
I
great
mean-
body horror, actually.
Oh, it might be on the itch page of all things. That'd be really funny.
Oh, probably. It probably is on the itch page.
And I guess I should say, if you don't want to watch or listen to us dipshits do this, the game's like $7.
Yeah. We probably won't finish it in one setting.
I
Just saying.
But it'd be more
actually
fun
think
to
we might
listen
finish
to-
it in one setting. It
Listen
looks
and
like
watch us do this. We're a pretty
Yeah.
fun group of people.
Yeah.
So you
I
say.
think.
But
In his unbiased opinion.
Yeah.
Oh no, my opinion's totally biased. Why would it be unbiased?
Clay really be like, I know I'm funny and charming. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I know at least I'm here now.
Yeah.
Speaking of body horror, and on a random note, I saw the trailer for the next Silent Hill, by the way.
Ooh, Silent Hill app.
And I'm excited because I
I'm
love
also-
Silent Hill.
Resident
The
Evil
movie was
9
great, the
has
games
some
were
fun
great,
things as well.
Yeah.
I'm very excited because the next rollout of like that sort of the Japanese horror big names it looks very fun. It looks very interesting.
Yeah, indeed.
I never got into Silent Hill.
It was
I-
so good. Not only was
you're
it
also not
good,
a
but the
horror person.
music, man. The atmosphere and the music just made it.
Yeah, I'm not a horror person, I will say.
If you
That's
But I
ever,
It's more of a. Why is there so much fire around me?
if you ever get the chance, Bailey, I would recommend watching somebody. Like look up on YouTube one of those silent like
Let's
no
plays?
commentary plays.
Oh
Like
yeah.
Silent Hill 2
Yeah.
because it's easily the best one.
Or Bailey, if you want, Luality did play the remake.
I've heard
Yes,
the
but
remake is really
Duality also will probably take the piss out of it, so.
Well, no, because she plays horror games on easy just because like she likes to be immersed in the scare factor and like having the fights get cut short, so you have to start it over again. She kind of takes you out of that.
Yeah.
And she is not great at it, but she does scream.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did hear the remake was really good.
It was really good. It looked amazing.
And made by people who kind of had a lot of weird like failings in the past, weirdly enough. They have the people who made it have a new game called Chronos coming out that I'm actually pretty interested in.
Yes, me too.
But without further ado,
I honestly kind of wanted some more ado, but
sorry, no more ado. Ethel Briggs was trying to play the second movement of Mozart's Violin Sonata Number 21, but she wasn't having much luck. Violin Sonata, try and fail to play the violin. Thanks, bud. Thanks, Steam.
Yep, there you go.
It had been months since she'd last picked up her violin, and the lack of practice had made her rusty. She had played this particular piece numerous times, not for any competitions. She'd always been too shy to enter any, despite Miss Manderley's gentle coaxing, but for her own satisfaction. Mozart's Violin Sonata 21 was one of her favorites. Ethel wasn't a huge Mozart aficionado. She didn't like how upbeat most of his pieces were, how frothy, flippant, and inoffensive. On the whole,
I love her already.
Yeah. On the
oh no, it was Bach that wrote Like Me She Marche. Never mind.
Yeah.
No, I have the same feelings about Mozart.
On the whole, she thought that Mozart was far too cheerful. Ethel
Yeah,
much
girl.
preferred the quiet, understated melancholy of Beethoven or Chopin's clean, precise compositions. But there was something special about the Violin Sonata 21. This was one of Mozart's few sonatas in E minor, composed in Paris shortly after his mother's death. The first part was allegro, and it contained some of that familiar energy which was so distinctly Mozart, but the second was far more moving. The second movement of Mozart's Violin Sonata 21 had a special place in Ethel's heart, maybe because this was one of the first violin pieces she had heard. It was this piece which had inspired her to take up the violin in the first place. Ethel had wanted to be able to play this melancholy piece with her own two hands, to bring this ethereal, haunting music into the world of her own volition. For many years, Ethel had attended her violin lessons. Oh God, I need to blink a couple times. Violin lessons dutifully, and for a while, she had accomplished her goal. She had performed this piece often enough that her muscle memory could make up for her lack of practice. But, though Ethel knew she had notes mostly correct wasn't good enough. Ethel's right hand slipped, the bow scraping unpleasantly against the strings, and she winced. She had been at it for some 5 minutes, trying to recreate her past successes, but this was the final straw. I do want to go ahead and say I really like the sound design of this game.
Yeah, I feel like this is more polished than the other game we've played by her.
What was the point in pursuing this any further? It wasn't as though she was performing this for an audience. She was at home on her own, and this was a blessing. Whew. If her parents and her two younger brothers had been there, Ethel wouldn't have been able to play her once beloved violin at all. They all would have told her to knock it off. Apart from Rowan, maybe. Rowan had always been kind. Or maybe he, unlike the other members of Ethel's family, was simply too self-conscious to say what he actually thought. Maybe Rowan looked down on Ethel too, for her strange, lonely, old-fashioned hobbies. Ethel's family didn't really care for classical music. Her father, Jude, liked Iron Maiden, Dio, and Judas Priest, while her mother, Lauren, listened to anything that was trending on TikTok. Manny.
Oh wait, this is
meanwhile-
modern.
Yeah. This is set in Australia, baby.
I didn't realize that.
Listened to loud, shouty music. And Ethel didn't know what Rowan liked because he never told anybody. Rowan was very secretive about his interests. Almost furtive. If her family had listened to classical music, however, Ethel knew they would have preferred Mozart to Beethoven and Chopin. Ha!
Which is a shame. Chopin's my favorite.
Chopin's great. Mozart seemed exactly like the sort of person Lauren would have enjoyed chatting with over a pint. Come to think of it, if the Mozart in Amadeus was at all like the real man. Ethel sighed. Bailey.
It's me. I'm
No,
here.
Ethel sighed. She was disappointed in herself. She hadn't been playing the violin for very long, but her jaw was aching and her fingers were already beginning to hurt. That's a fun sprite. That's cute.
Mhm.
Gloomily, she set her violin down. Glumly, she looked at it. Lying on her bed. I'm so glum.
Yep.
So many jokes I can make with this being a mushroom. I'm gonna not.
Thank you for saying it, because I was thinking it.
I gotta. I mean,
You
That
know
wasn't
what?
the only one. That's
You
what I'm
know
thankful
what?
for here.
I feel attacked right now.
what? Just because I put a mushroom on this girl's forehead doesn't mean.
No! No! Because last time I made a mushroom dick joke, you guys lambasted me.
Because you saw a bunch of mushrooms in a grove surrounding camp and you're like, you know what? Those specific mushrooms over there look like penises. And we all looked. And lo and behold, they didn't.
Yes! Oh my god, I'm gonna kill you.
First, I would have lambasted you for using the word lambasted, but that's just me.
Mm-mm.
Sorry, I have a vocabulary.
God, what do you have a word of the day dictionary? Jesus.
No, I just read, unlike some people.
Yeah.
You can read? Skill issue. Never read in my life.
Yeah, Shell's actually feeding me these lines. I don't know what actually is being read here. Her eyes softened in such a way that she looked rather like an abandoned puppy. Then, feeling rather sad and sorry for herself, she sniffed.
You like that? You like that?
Oh no. Oh, we might need 5 more takes. She had loved that violin once, but her love had long since dwindled. Everything which had once brought Ethel joy had become gray and faded since Clementine had left her. Who's Clementine?
Next
It's-
mention.
It was just an orange. Why are you so upset?
This girl just has like a history of trying to date like plants. Bailey, about to kill me, reached my screen and ripped my throat out.
No, I actually laughed at that.
Okay. I heard you like suck in air and I was like, oh no.
No, I was laughing while I was walking away.
What did her love for music matter now? Had it ever mattered? Ethel was already 21, and simultaneously, she was only 21.
Yeah.
She was in her final year of university. Oh boy. The adult world loomed before her. Rather than welcoming it, however, Ethel found herself shrinking away from her future responsibilities. I see.
Same.
Same.
That was probably why she had dug out her old violin to play through her favorite piece from her childhood. She'd been trying to cling to the past. She simply didn't
I should start
want
digging out my trumpet more.
to play. Don't do that now. Because multiple mics will pick that up. She simply didn't want to grow up. Ethel
Yeah, I
sat
hear
down
that.
on her bed, defeated. Though she supposed it wasn't her bed anymore, hadn't been for almost 3 years. The curse the yawns.
The
When-
yawns when you're narrating.
Yeah, I get the narrator yawns. Not because I'm bored, but just because I'm talking a lot. When Ethel was at university in Durham, North Carolina.
Damn.
No.
I know where that is.
Manny slept in what had once been her room. When Ethel came back for the holidays, Manny and Rowan were forced to share a room, something they both resented. Yo, girly, that happens to me when I go home.
Yeah. The reverse happens for me when other people are. Anyway.
Jude is her older brother. Okay. Actually, Clay,
It's good.
read.
You gotta do some reading.
Hold on.
Are you still in a mission?
Yeah.
Let me duck behind this building. Do we want the Australian accent or?
If you really want to.
Oh no, it's a tight squeeze, Judo.
Jude always said.
We'll try to bear with it, Ethel. Can't be expected to share with either of you. She's the oldest, and she's a young lady. She needs a space. Don't be so surly.
That was good. I'm not gonna lie.
10 out of 10.
Rowan was good-natured enough that he didn't complain about this sleeping arrangement too much. Not to Ethel's face, at least. But Manny was less so. Manny was only 13, and he hadn't learned how to be tactful yet. Ethel's youngest brother had been in an awful mood all Christmas. A mood which Ethel knew was largely because of her unwanted presence. It had been a relief when her family had left the day prior for Luton Airport. Or no, it'd be Luton, wouldn't it? I think it'd be Luton.
I don't know.
For
Luton.
the holiday, I think it's Luton. Luton Airport. For the holiday they'd been looking forward to so much. Now that Manny was no longer skulking around, shooting her nasty glares wherever. Oh.
Sure.
Not her possessive, her actioned. Shooting
Yeah,
her nasty
shooting her,
glares whenever
yeah.
their paths crossed. Ethel felt like she could finally breathe. Some small part of Ethel wished that she'd accompanied her family. She'd never been to Australia before, and she was curious about it. Oh, they're going to Australia.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
going to Australia.
Oh,
So maybe
fuck.
it is Durham. Maybe she is going to Durham, North Carolina.
She might be, actually. Her dad is Australian for some reason.
Her dad's Australian because wait, maybe they're visiting family in Australia. You don't know that.
Yeah, sure. We make the lore here, not the game dev.
The game dev's not here right now.
We're the game devs now.
Wait, no. I have to debug now. Fuck!
House of her. Shut up.
But another part of her thought
That was louder.
I think that was sass.
That was. He looked at me too.
You named your cat Calcifer. What did you expect?
I regret that most days actually.
But another part of her thought she'd make the right move. Calcifer!
Yes, a good Prince Calcifer.
Hey,
Calcifer just wants to voice a character.
hey.
Does.
Calcifer wants to narrate for me. He's heard me yawn and he's sick of it.
He's actually really mad that I'm in the kitchen right now because he doesn't like it when I break routine.
Mm-hmm. She didn't want to keep subjecting Manny to her company.
Damn, I hate how that, like, being like, oh, I'm just gonna take myself away from the family because I want them to have a good time without me. Ugh.
Yeah. I get that. Like, yeah, there are plenty of reasons to feel that way. I understand that. Like, but it ain't good for
Yeah,
you.
it's not good.
She also enjoyed having the house to herself. That meant she could play the violin without having to worry about the sound carrying. And it did carry in her parents' home, since the walls were so thin. She could also have lesbian sex in her room without anybody else knowing about it.
If only.
Ethel had been looking forward to being on her own. I'm gonna not ask questions, Bailey, because I just processed what you said. But now that she was on her own, she couldn't even enjoy her newfound freedom. What was wrong with her? Ethel bit the inside of her cheek, weighing up her options. If she couldn't play her violin, she should at least give her thesis a go. The due date to hand the damn thing in was approaching. She only had 2 months left to work on it, but she'd not written a single line of it yet.
Sounds
She
like you have ADHD, baby.
Yeah. She couldn't bring herself
So
to.
if you wait till the last minute, you are older, therefore wiser.
Exactly.
Me going to write my paper Sunday. That's due Sunday on Sunday.
Mm.
Yep.
Me finishing my ending words as I'm turning it in. Like the violin, Ethel had lost all interest in her thesis and in her degree. Ethel had used her
It'd be like
thesis-
that sometimes.
Yeah. Ethel had used her thesis as an excuse to get out going on holiday with her parents. She told them she needed to focus on her work. But she'd been doing precious little work all day, and wasting an awful lot of time. Ethel glanced at her violin, which lay discarded on her bed. Then, she sighed for the umpteenth time that night. How had things come to this? What had happened to make her lose interest in everything which had once delighted her, especially her beloved violin? Unwilling girls might have been coerced into playing instruments by their parents, but this hadn't been the case with Ethel. Ethel had been introduced to the world of classical music quite by chance, after discovering an old CD full of the stuff in a jumble sale for 50 pence.
What the heck is a jumble sale?
Wait, pence.
Jumbo sale is like a yard sale.
Wait, is this
estate
set in...
sale,
Wait, hold on. Is this set in
flea market
Britain?
type deal?
Pence is...
I think the maybe. I also know that the writer is not American.
So that could just be bleeding into it.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there is a college in a town called Durham in the UK, though.
There's
That
a lot of
is
things
Old English word.
That's also
Yeah. A lot of United States East Coast places are just named after places in Europe, so... Like Venice, Nevada. Anyways.
Believe it or not, Venice, Nevada came first.
Ah. No!
no. Oh, also, straight up, Durham University is a thing in English. It might be English.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, then
That would
it's probably
explain it.
English then.
Yeah, that makes more sense because if she was American, she would have specified the state.
Yeah. She had been drawn to the old cracked CD because of the smiley lady on the cover, and she hadn't been too interested in the music itself. When she had listened to that CD, however, she'd experienced a revelation. The songs had spoken to her. She had been instantly drawn into the world of classical music, and it had all been thanks to Mozart's Violin Sonata No. 21. Ethel had known, after listening to that CD, that her life would never be the same again. Oh my god. Shortly after, she had pleaded with her parents to take her to violin lessons so she could play just as well as the smiley lady with the pixie cut in the cover of that CD. Ah. It was more than one awakening, huh, honey?
Oh. Hey,
Listen,
Hey,
smiling
chill.
women with pixie cuts get me too. I can't blame her.
I'm gonna tell you right now, this probably is British because I'm pretty sure that's the Manchester United crest on that scarf in the back.
Right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah, football club. Yeah, this is
You're a
this is
Manchester
English.
fan. How original.
Ethel had since lost that life-altering CD. She'd lost many things which were important to her over the years, but she could remember the cover clearly. The woman had been pretty, despite her unconventional haircut, decidedly feminine in her blue wrap dress and her dangly earrings. I made the joke already
What?
that it was more than one awakening.
Yeah. I will say, I wonder if this is like actually referencing an actual like cover.
It might be. This is
I don't
also that was also the author's awakening.
Yeah.
A violin playing woman in a pixie cut.
I can see it.
I could see it. She had held her violin against the nook of her neck, and in her other hand, she had held the bow. Just a bow. You know, that's the name of the thing used to play a violin. The stick.
The
but
stick.
I'm imagining it's the other stick, the one that has a string attached to it. that you
There
draw
are
the
also
sh-
strings.
Island
Well-
sticks also have strings attached to them.
I
Yeah.
know. I realized as I was saying that. Luck. There had been something commanding about the nameless woman in blue, despite how skinny she had been, how slender her arms and legs. To the young Ethel, she had seemed less like a person and more a queen from a fairy tale, the garland of flowers on her head only adding to this illusion. Queen. Ethel hadn't necessarily wanted to play the violin for the sake of it. She just wanted to look like the nameless lady on the album's cover, a lady who, Ethel now realized, probably hadn't played any of the songs arranged on that CD. The woman on that cover had probably been a model, brought into a studio to pose at the violin she couldn't play.
Yeah.
That, or she had been a stock image lifted from the internet. When Ethel had grown up enough to realize this, it had sullied the mystique of that seminal CD. A little like how other children felt betrayed after learning Santa wasn't real, or that Elmo was a puppet. It had been an eye-opening moment, but maybe it had been for the best. This revelation had lessened Ethel's pain, at least, when the CD had gone missing a few years ago. In any case, Ethel's violin lessons had never quite lived up to her expectations. Oh. Ethel had kept at the violin, carried by her initial childish enthusiasm. But her enthusiasm had faded when she started secondary school, and she realized that she would never be as smiley or as happy as the elfin woman on that CD cover. She would never be that pretty, either. No amount of playing the violin could bring Ethel closer to her idealized image of perfection, something which became all the more apparent when Shania and her gang had started to bully her.
Yeah.
Ethel grew so disenchanted with the violin, she gave up on her lessons at the start of year 11. Exposition, exposition. Exposition, 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 exposition. She had needed to focus on her GCSEs anyway, and it hadn't helped that she had jammed her fingers during a netball game in PE, and it had hurt for a whole month to hold her bow.
You
Jude.
must have really jammed your fingers.
Yeah.
That's fucked. Oof. Jude had never liked it when she played in the house anyway, especially when there was a big game on. Manny, meanwhile, had always said her scraping sounded unbearable. It's like nails on a chalkboard. Can't you pack it in? Manny used to say. And in the end, Ethel did just that.
What a
She
shitty
packed-
family.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say, everyone sucks here.
She packed the violin in, but not for good. She continued to play here and there when her parents and her brothers were out of the house and there was nobody to hear her. Sometimes Ethel even took joy in her playing, but these moments had been few and far between. Once, Ethel had played the violin dedicatedly. There we go. I can speak English. Once
Good
a
job.
week at her teacher's, Miss Manderley. I can speak the Queen's English, I promise.
Do you promise though?
Ha! Now, she played once a month, if that. I don't speak the Queen's English. I speak Irish English. Fucking brain. And she did so furtively, as if it were a shameful secret. Ethel couldn't help but feel embarrassed as she played. Oh boy, as though she were performing an obscene act even more intimate than masturbation.
I've started.
Demonetized. Pack it up. We're done.
Guys, we've talked about Yorking it. We gotta get out of here.
Yeah, scream!
Inappropriate.
The popo's here.
Oh god. Maybe the plan.
Yeah, read the line.
Clay, I hope you heard that from the other room.
Not quite. Scream
I'm not-
louder next time.
Okay, got you. Ah! Maybe playing the violin was masturbation, in a sense, because it had only ever brought her pleasure.
I mean, that's really bad for the bow. You don't want to.
Yeah.
Get
Also,
it wet.
you're gonna get
Exactly,
it wet. Yeah. Nobody else in her life had cared to listen to her. Nobody except dear old Miss Manderley. She had been
Wait,
encouraged.
okay, so how does that pair up with the masturbation comparison?
Oh, Miss Manderley taught her.
Hey, yo.
What?
Yeah.
But what if this
We were
brought
saying
up-
it's weird to bring her up after the masturbation
Yeah.
analogy.
Her playing was only it made herself happy, just like masturbation. But this old lady liked to hear her play too.
You know.
We don't know if
Miss Manderley's going to
old.
jail.
Yeah, we don't know if Miss Manderley was old. I mean, if she, oh man, there are to be fair 2 types of music teachers, like old crones and like very young women.
It did mention that she was old.
Okay, yeah, then this one was probably old crone. And she probably doesn't care. She only has a few years left in her anyway.
Wow.
Ethel left her violin on the bed and approached the window. Her footsteps muffled like a cat's quiet padding. Once there, she stood at the sill and glanced out at the garden beyond. It was late at night. The digital clock on her bedside table said it was already 8:30. And the night was navy blue, the moon ringed by wisps of cloud. There was a bit of a breeze outside, and the darkened silhouettes of the hedgerows were shaking. Ethel's fingers curled around the wooden windowsill. All of a sudden, being inside felt stifling. Ethel had been so caught up in her memories, she worried they would overwhelm her. Newly uneasy, Ethel took an anxious step away from the window. She wasn't sure why, but she had an intense desire to escape. I did like that split second of a terrified portrait. That was fun.
Yeah.
She had to clear the cobwebs from her mind in some way. And what better way to do that than to go for a walk?
Oh, great.
I'm going for a walk. It might have been late at night, but it was too late to go for a wander, really. It was too late to go for a wander. But she did live in Oxbury. God damn it. Oxbury was a tiny village, almost minuscule, really, with an eye on non-existent crime rate.
Nyan is not absolutely.
Nothing.
This is the night we're gonna get knifed.
Bailey, nothing bad ever happened there.
You what, mate?
Last
Got a
words.
shit in your pocket.
Is that a violin bow in your pocket? Are you just happy to see me?
Can you see me?
No stabbings ever took place in Oxford.
That seems like a
to-
very specific thing for you to be in denial about, babe.
Yeah, honey, I don't say the quiet part out loud. Contrary to the
Well,
wild claims Americans on
thing
the
is
internet like
that
to
they
make
don't
about
have
the UK.
guns, so they can't be shootings. It has to be stabbing.
Ah,
Or
yes.
throwing acid at people. We got that too.
There is that too.
That's just a meme. That's not like an attempt to kill. Contrary to the wild claims Americans on the internet like to make about the UK's crime statistics, or any
Wow.
Ethel would be just fine. Why wouldn't she be? It's not like
And then she
there
sees the
are...
white van marked, "Hey, random violin CDs from your childhood."
Free candy and women in pixie cuts.
Free candy and women in pixie cuts. I'm not gonna lie, that van would have me.
Same.
Aw, man, it's so suspicious, but those are two things I like. Ethel would be just fine. Why wouldn't she be? Oxbury was so safe and sterile, it bordered on the boring. Hadn't she always wanted to go on fun adventures when she was a little girl? Adventure was hardly going to come and find her if she remained indoors, steeped in her reminiscences.
Reminiscence.
Ah,
Yeah.
I had it right the first time, go figure. As
Yeah,
if
you
she
had it
were
right
a
the first time.
teabag. Ethel didn't imagine that anything exciting would happen on her walk. But it would be better than sitting inside and stewing. Also, she heard about the local mushroom girls in her area, so she was curious.
She got a notification on her phone.
Mhm. It's weird because her email marked it as spam, but like clearly it wasn't. Like come on.
I also had like a warning say don't open. This could have a virus on it, but you know,
It's probably fine.
you live anywhere.
Local mushroom women want to spread their mycelium.
God, that's a euphemism right there.
Let's get those spores going, baby.
So many jokes. So many jokes.
My bad experience with mushrooms made me a lesbian.
Yeah, that's how it goes actually a lot.
Yeah, it's an actual accurate.
Ethel padded downstairs, her feet sinking against the cushioned landing. Then the cushioned steps of the staircase, and paused by the front door. She eyed her old coat, but ultimately left it to be. No,
Liars.
No.
The coat on you.
no, grab the coat. Mushrooms are scared of coats. What are you doing?
Who needs a coat?
What is
What?
she not wearing? If coat? Okay.
It was a brown duffel coat, which Ethel had owned since sixth form. Some arbitrary, weird thing that the UK made up that is like 5th grade, I think. I don't know, actually. It actually might be 8th grade,
Okay.
thinking about it.
What?
I don't know.
Sixth
It's weird.
form is education for students typically aged 16 to 18.
Oh, okay, so it's
Whoa.
like late high school. Never mind.
Why'd they gotta be so weird about it?
I don't know. I don't know. But then again, like, I'm sure they look at us and go, "What is a sophomore or
To
a
be-
freshman?"
Oh, you call it 11th grade? How simple. My child is in 6th form.
Bro, how many evolutions your child got? This ain't Dragon Ball.
This isn't fucking Digimon. Fuck off.
They've reached their ultimate form.
Yeah. I present to you. Oh shit! Hold on. Mecha Nathaniel. Okay, yeah, that. She eyed her old coat, but ultimately left it to be. Oh, nope, hold on. There we go. The coat had been in active service for 4 long winters, and the passage of time had taken its toll. One of the toggles of the coat was missing. It had snapped clean off, and the brown, furry fabric was worn threadbare in places, like a beloved teddy which had been cuddled one too many times. Lauren had tutted when Ethel had come home from university, clad in that natty coat, and shaken her head. "You're still wearing that old thing?" she'd asked, her voice incredulous. I thought you would have bought a new coat by now. This accent's all over the place. You look like you've come straight out of a jumble sale. Ethel knew that her mother hadn't meant this as a compliment. Also, hey, Ethel, I think it speaks to the relationship you have with your parents that you call your father Jude and your mother, what? Sorry? Lauren? Like, you don't say mom and dad, you say Jude and Lauren.
It's not
Also,
even
why is
mother
Jude
and father.
Australian? We need to figure this out.
Yeah. When did that happen?
You have steps. You have mom and dad, you have mother and father, and then you have I only know you by your given names.
Mother,
still,
father.
I still call my mom and dad my mom and my pa. Like, that might just be because I'm Southern. I don't know. Ethel knew that her mother hadn't meant this as a compliment. Ethel's mother rarely complimented her appearance, but she had liked it nonetheless. Lauren had often taken Ethel to jumble sales when she was a girl, ostensibly to find some cheap bits and pieces for her newly renovated kitchen, but actually so that she could have a natter with her friends. So a yard sale?
Kind of. It's
Have a
like
natter? Like a natty light?
I would
Shit.
assume a jumble sale is more like a flea market.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Also, Clay, no. No, bed. Lauren would stand by Auntie Jeannie and Auntie Mariella's stalls. Mariella, yeah. They weren't real aunties, of course. They were just her mother's friends. While Ethel would wander around by herself, transfixed by all the wares on display. I lied. There was one stabbing. Ethel was stabbed during one of these jumble sales. The jumble sale
Yeah, but
her
the
mother...
jumble sale was actually from out of town, so it doesn't count.
Oh yeah, it was actually like a Radford jumble sale, so like it didn't
And
count towards
that
Oxbury's
reflects on
crime statistics.
Them, obviously.
Yeah. The jumble sale her mother had frequented every weekend had taken place in the car park of the big Sainsbury in Wrexham. Yep, it was in a different town.
There you go.
I actually know where Wrexham is. Wales.
Wrexham. I hardly know him.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Oxbury. I've heard that name before in referring to the UK. I'm pretty sure it is like pretty central UK.
Yeah, I don't know. I know Wrexham is in Wales.
Ah, so these people are actually Welsh. Oh my
Or
Just
god!
Welsh.
I
They
love
went
your...
to
Go ahead.
Wales for the jumble sale, at least.
At least. Oh my god! I love your speech impediment is so cute. I'm just Welsh.
I'm just Welsh.
Yeah. I'm just Welsh. And all sorts of people were in attendance. It hadn't just been Auntie Jeannie, who sold old paperbacks which once belonged to her mother, and Auntie Mariella, who sold soap and candles. There had been other, more interesting vendors with piercings and tattoos.
Guys, this is worse than a flea
Not
market. This is
piercing
fucking
tattoos.
a farmer's market.
Yeah. Some of these vendors sold bits of wood whittled into fantastical creatures, self-painted dioramas of forests and fairy tale castles, handmade jewelry set with stones which couldn't have been precious, but which shone regardless, and beaded dream catchers which swayed in the breeze. So what you're saying, Ethel, is that there was a boring side of the jumble, and then there was the fun side where this shit was happening. That's
Yeah.
what I am taking
Yep.
from this.
There was the side that sold soap and honey and candles, and then there was the side that had the tattooed bitches whittling fantastic creatures out of wood.
Yeah, that
Yep.
sounds rad as fuck, honestly. Hey, we probably met a few of those at the fucking Ren Fair, Clay.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, that's
A
what
few?
that's what Sunday markets are like in Seattle, and it makes me miss them.
Their wares made Aunt Jeannie's old paperbacks and Auntie Mariella's soaps and candles look very pedestrian indeed. I don't know why that name trips me up so much. Mariella.
She is very critical about this basic bitch side of the farmer's market.
I mean, She was just a kid who had to sit through that boring shit, so I can't blame her.
To be fair, I'm hypercritical of the boring part of the farmer's market, too.
Yeah. Ethel had always loved jumble sales, in part because there had been so much stuff to gawp at. They'd been so busy. Ethel had been able to melt into the crowds, completely anonymous. Her heart's a fluttering in this one. Ethel had quite liked being told she looked like she had gone straight from one of those sales, though her mother had been less than impressed. Lauren had told her that her coat made her look mousy, but that was what Ethel preferred. She never liked standing out.
Now, I'm starting to wonder if her mom was British or Asian.
Yeah, her mom's a bitch. Jesus.
That
No
sounds like
wonder
shit
you
my
call
mom
her
would have
Lauren.
said. That sounds like shit my mom would have said, is all I'm saying.
Maybe that was why she'd chosen to venture outdoors at such a late hour. There wouldn't be anybody on the street to spot her. Not stop her, spot her. The coat really was too ratty to keep wearing, however. Ethel left it be. I had such a good streak there, and I've now yawned again. Reasoning her jacket would be enough. Ethel did grab her father's old torch from his toolbox, however, just in case she needed it. She stuffed it inside a canvas bag, which she slung over her shoulder. Then, she stepped out onto the street.
Not knowing this is British, her grabbing her father's torch is funnier.
Just in
It's
case.
way better, honestly.
Just in case the mushroom women are real and in my area, I'm going to need fire.
I'm gonna take my witch burning torch.
Yeah. She shut the front door behind her, and soon she was enveloped by the shadows. She hoped she would be able to wander the streets uninterrupted. I'll take it. Well, no. This is a coincidence. It's been a while. Ethel, isn't it? I'll change the voice when I know who it is. But her hopes were soon scuppered. Oh, actually, that was a reasonable voice for this. There was a man on the other side of the road. A man who looked almost as washed out as Ethel. It was hard to see in the dark, even with the street lamps illuminating the gray, gloomy pavement. But Ethel recognized the man well enough. He must have been in his 50s now, but he'd been younger when Ethel had first met him. 31, 32? She wasn't sure. He had a lined face, which spoke of his approaching age, though it was lined in such a way that traces of the young man he'd once been could still be seen. His jaw was still firm, his nose aquiline, and his eyes were striking. The man had a full head of hair despite his age, and it was a more sandy brown than gray, shot through with only a few lighter strands. He wasn't a bad-looking man. He was definitely no monster. But Ethel still shrunk away from him. She knew him, but that did little to endear her to him. This was Mr. Brown, one of Ethel's teachers back in primary school. Mr. Brown had been one of the few male teachers at Oxbury Primary. In fact, he might have been the only male teacher, and he had stood out from the rest. Not just because of his gender, but because of his sheer size. He had been a mountain of a man, so much so he had to stoop to enter and exit the classroom. Oh my god! He had been head and shoulders above Miss Pierce, Mrs. Spriggett, and Mrs. Moyles. Quite literally. Ethel had always found Mr. Brown intimidating. What with his sheer vastness, not to mention his voice, which had been deep and booming. I will change my voice justly. Ethel, granted, had been a good deal shorter herself back when she had been in primary school, but Mr. Brown didn't look any less intimidating over a decade later. Ethel had grown while Mr. Brown had not, but he still eclipsed her. Mr. Brown was taller than Rowan, who had shot up when he started secondary school. Taller, too, than her father, who had played basketball when he was younger. You know, basketball, typical Australian sport. He was easily taller than 6 feet. He could even have been pushing 7.
That's a big difference.
Yeah, that's a foot. That's like a whole head different. Mr. Brown was a vast mountain of a man with large hands and large feet, whose coat seemed too small to contain him. Ethel had been afraid of Mr. Brown as a young girl, and little had changed. She was still afraid of him. Ethel shrunk back, shaking. What was Mr. Brown doing outside so very late? Stabbing people.
I mean, girl, you're out here late.
Can a man not go
Driving
for
around
a
in his
walk?
white van with spray painted signs on it. That's all.
Bro, this man is the van.
I am the man. It was strange, but... Clay?
Dog.
Yeah, that's all you do. You just go, dog. That explained it. He must have been walking his dog. Mr. Brown's dog was a curious sight. It was the polar opposite of its owner, small and runty, where Mr. Brown was tall and wide. The dog and the owner were so mismatched that it was almost comical. The diminutive dog, was he a spaniel? Ethel wasn't sure. It was so tiny, Ethel worried Mr. Brown might step on it by accident.
Come on, Ethel.
Ethel hadn't
Man's
known.
dog.
Yeah. Ethel hadn't known that Mr. Brown had a dog. She didn't know much about Mr. Brown at all. She hadn't thought about him in years. It was the spaniel. Yes, Ethel was sure it was a spaniel. A new addition to his family? Well, whatever. It didn't really matter.
Why don't you show the dog and it just be like a chihuahua?
Oh my god, it's a spaniel! Ethel? Ethel's shocked silence must have perturbed Mr. Brown, because he sounded concerned when he said that. You are Ethel, aren't you? Ethel Briggs? It's been a while since I saw you, but I remember you. I don't forget any of my students. Bailey. Oh no.
Oh no. I'm back. Sorry.
Ah.
Yes, I'm Ethel. Sorry?
I thought as much. It's nice to know I'm not going completely senile. I take it you're back home from university, then.
Oh, yes.
You going to Durham?
Yes, did my parents tell you that?
Aye, you did. Jude told me.
Oh, do you see my parents very much then?
Oh, hi. We go to the pub quiz together sometimes in Wrexham. Your father can be very competitive. Oh yeah, that's my line. Ethel didn't disbelieve that. Jude had always been a bit of a know-it-all. He was the sort of man who liked to watch quiz shows solely so he could yell at the contestants for getting things wrong, and woe betide they loused up any questions on classic rock. That was Jude's specialty. Ethel couldn't imagine her mother joining in a pub quiz all that enthusiastically, but she probably went along for the drinks and the peanuts. Ethel had been to the pub in Wrexham with her parents a couple times, and Lauren got on rather well with the proprietor, old Jerry. He always made a show of IDing Lauren whenever she ordered a pint, though it wasn't really necessary. Lauren might have been young for a mother of 3, and she took great pains to ensure her makeup was just so, but she was in her early 40s too. That I guess that's a phrase, in her early 42, like early
Yeah.
actual exact age. It was impossible that anybody might mistake her for a teenager, but Lauren would still like the attention. She thrived on it. I've been seeing quite a bit of your parents, actually, after Evie's funeral. Your mum helped me with the arrangements, and with all of the refreshments. Her help was invaluable. Ah, now that sounded familiar. Ethel thought her mother might have mentioned, at some point or another, that her old primary school teacher's wife had died recently. Yeah, damn girl, be sadder about it. She hadn't given it much thought, but she supposed her mother must have been talking about Mr. Brown. He was the only male teacher she'd had. Ethel didn't think that Miss Pierce, Mrs. Spriggett, or Mrs. Moyles had been having any clandestine lesbian affairs on the sly. They're all too old-fashioned. Points at Ethel. I know what... No, this like huge man points at Ethel. I know what you are. Ethel wondered briefly if Mr. Brown expected her to comment on his wife's passing. She was spared the need when he continued once more, readjusting the grip on his dog's lead. I've been curious about you, too. You were one of my better students, even among all the year 5 kiddos. So I ask about you sometimes. I hope you don't mind. Ethel did mind, as it happened. She didn't like being spoken about behind her back, even if the talk was all positive. She didn't know how to articulate this, however, without sounding rude. Stuck for words, Ethel looked at her feet and said, I shoot you.
No, it's fine.
Your parents are quite proud of you, you know. They can't stop boasting about you. Ethel thought this was highly unlikely. She might have gotten into a good university, and maybe she was doing well academically, but her parents had never placed that much stock into highfalutin things. Highfalutin? Yeah,
Highfalutin.
Oh,
Highfalutin.
Highfalutin. That much stock into highfalutin things like degrees. Neither of her parents had been to university. Jude had joined the workforce as soon as he'd been able to. He'd apprenticed as a plumber, and Lauren hadn't even finished secondary school. She had packed in school altogether when she'd been 15, so she could pursue her dreams of superstardom.
Yeah, specifically superstardom.
Specifically. Unfortunately for Lauren, however, these dreams hadn't come into fruition. She had done some modeling for trashy tabloids for a few years, before debuting as an actress in a few sleazy, low-budget flicks Ethel had never wanted to see. Lauren had wound up settling down and starting a family with Jude when she was only 21. Her age, Ethel thought with a shiver, though she'd never seemed particularly bitter about her lot in life. Lauren had never taken much of an interest in her daughter's creative or academic pursuits, though she'd not been dismissive of them either. I speak the Queen's English, I do.
You do?
I do. Lauren
You
had
do?
driven... I do. Lauren had driven Ethel all the way to Wrexham once a week for her violin lesson with Miss Manderley. Lessons she had paid for without complaining. She had seemed pleased, too, when Ethel had been accepted into her university of choice, though her pleasure hadn't been much more effusive than a benign, "Oh, that's nice, dear. I suppose we'll have to get your student grant sorted out then, eh? My husband's Australian, ain't he?"
Yep.
Ethel found it hard to believe that her mother had been boasting about her academically talented daughter. Lauren would have been much more inclined to boast if Ethel had started to dress more fashionably, or if she'd learned how to apply eyeliner without making her eyes water, or if she'd started her own successful TikTok channel.
Yeah, I'm good
God.
TikTok.
Lauren had a TikTok account of her own, where she filmed herself putting on makeup, taking off makeup, showing off her nails, and singing along to her favorite pop songs. Lauren was actually fairly successful on the platform. She managed to rack up over 300,000 followers in the span of 2 years. Damn, alright.
Alright, Mom.
Your mom is a micro celebrity, apparently. She sometimes did sponsorships with makeup brands, and it was her newfound fame which had paid for Manny's fancy gaming PC, Jude's new guitar, and the family's holiday in Australia. You know what? Good for her. Damn.
Go, Mom.
Yeah. If Ethel had been like Lauren, bouncy and cheerful, Ethel imagined her mother might have been more inclined to boast about her. But as it was, Ethel thought it was doubtful. It wasn't hard to imagine that Mr. Brown cared about Ethel's academic achievements more than her own parents did. Still, it was kind of him, Ethel supposed, to bother spinning her a white lie like that. He must have been trying to cheer her up. Oh, I'm sorry. Where are my manners? You'll be on your Christmas holidays now, won't you? I doubt you'll want to talk about university much right now.
Oh, not really.
I thought as much. I'm sorry for bringing it up. I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable. The thought was appreciated, but Ethel thought it was rather too late for that. She already felt uncomfortable. That wasn't necessarily Mr. Brown's fault, however. She felt uncomfortable about most things in her life. That was just how she was. I leave you on your merry way, but I am curious. What are you doing going for a walk at this hour? It's very dark outside, and I think it might start raining soon. Are you sure you'll be alright?
Thank you, but I'll be fine.
What, her? Are you sure? Ethel nodded.
I have my phone with me, and I even brought Dad's old torch if it gets too dark. It should be able to light the way, though I won't be gone long. I just wanted to go looking for bats.
Bats?
Yes, in night jars. My dad took me out to look for them sometimes when I was... I know my way around the forest, so it should be fine.
I love her even more.
She's just this little ball of manic energy, huh?
And she loves bats.
Oh yeah, bats are great though. Everybody loves bats, or should.
They don't, but they should.
They should. If you say so. Mr. Brown didn't look wholly reassured, but he didn't try to question Ethel further. Maybe he didn't have the time for it. His dog was beginning to tug on his lead, yipping fiercely as he did. Just cut to like the actual just picture of a chihuahua. Just
Yeah, it's just like an actual photo.
yeah, just a photo. It's like what's that game with the birds?
How to Fool a Boyfriend?
Yes, How to Fool a Boyfriend, where it's just pictures of birds.
Well, what's funny is that the birds are at bird cafe, or
Yeah.
like are the pets of the developers.
Yeah. Mr. Brown's dog might have been small, but he had quite a set of lungs on him. I peeked, goddammit. I don't think
Yeah.
y'all heard that. And he clearly wasn't afraid of using them. Ah, looks like his lordship here is getting hungry. Can't keep him waiting. Not if I don't want him to wake up half the blasted village. I should be off now. But do take care of yourself. I know you're a great grown lass by now, but the woods can be perilous at night, even if you have a torch and you know your way. The
There could be
woods-
mushroom growers in there.
Don't check your email. The woods are a lot bigger than they look. I wouldn't want you getting lost. And you do know what happened to the Delaney girl, don't you? Well, of course Ethel knew what had happened to that Delaney girl. Everybody in Oxbury did. It had been quite the topic of conversation when it had happened.
I thought nothing happened in Oxbury.
Yeah. Ethel, don't double
Girls
speak
are
us.
fire.
no, this was recent. Ethel hadn't been living in Oxbury then. She'd just started university in Durham, and she'd been trying desperately to keep her head above the water. But Lauren had told her all about it. Her mother had called her, breathless, to tell her that a girl had gone missing. And it wouldn't be the first time, either. Don't you remember that Chloe girl? You were still in primary school at the time, but that caused such a stir, too. Oh, I wonder if the cases are related.
Oh, so the mushrooms are lesbian.
Uh-huh. Ethel hadn't liked the way her mother had talked about the girl's disappearance, as though it was some amusing piece of gossip. No different from who was dating who on Love Island. God,
This is new.
this is modern. Alright.
I mean, also, Love Island is a big thing in the UK because it started there.
Yeah.
Oh,
It is
yeah,
big in the
gotcha.
UK. She had found it rather tasteless. Ethel hadn't known the missing girl. She'd not been a local of Oxbury. According to the local paper, she'd been staying there for a few days with a couple of relatives, and she didn't remember her first name.
Whoa.
She thought it'd been something unusual, though. Something exotic. India, maybe? Indigo? Well, in any case, the girl had last been sighted near the edge of the woods by a dog walker. This is so funny. That is so funny. The police had combed every inch of the forest, but her body had never been discovered. If there was a body to uncover at all. The name and premise of this are actually a deception, and it's about the fact that Mr. Brown is a serial killer.
Yeah.
It was possible she had grown bored of being stuck in Oxbury, and she had run away. There was no guarantee she had come to a sticky end, and neither was there any evidence. But Ethel still wondered. You know, a sticky end, as if you had met a mushroom girl in the woods.
Are mushrooms sticky?
I mean,
Some are.
I mean, anybody will be sticky after, you know, what you'll do with the mushroom
Actually,
girl.
some mushrooms are sticky, yes.
I like my joke better. And so it seemed, did Mr. Brown. It had been almost 3 years since the young Miss Delaney's disappearance, but it had something of a pall over Oxbury. As a teacher, Mr. Brown must have been more concerned than most. He had spent the better part of his life looking after small children, cleaning skinned knees and breaking up arguments over who stole whose favorite toy. Ethel could hardly fault Mr. Brown for worrying, but his concern still rankled. There was something uncomfortably cloying about it. Did Mr. Brown still regard her as a child? Was that why he was lecturing her? Ethel was 21
Girl,
now, but she knew
she's
Mr.
21.
Brown would never regard her as an adult in her own right. How could he, when he'd known her as a 9-year-old? This realization was an uncomfortable one. It made Ethel cringe.
I'll be fine, really. I know my way around, have my phone. If I do get lost, I can call for help.
She said, just before walking right into the woods and getting immediately lost.
And losing her phone.
Yeah, immediately loses phone and torch.
And torch. Not in the woods.
Who Ethel would call if she got down in the woods? If she got lost exactly, was a mystery even to her. Oh boy. She could hardly call her parents, given they were in Australia, and she knew she wouldn't have the courage to call the police. Mr. Officer, I'm too nervous, I'm sorry.
Sorry? What do you mean you'd be too...
Like, imagine you call the police, and then you hang up because you're, like, too nervous, and you
'Cause you hate-
apologize.
You're too anxious about being on phone calls.
Yeah. Ethel would have hesitated to dial 999 even if her home had been broken into by a couple of machete-wielding muggers.
girl.
That sounds actually kind of horrifying in a place where you don't have guns available to you. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
She wouldn't have wanted to be a burden. In the UK, when an area is a stand your ground county, you're allowed to have a sharpened claymore as a home defense weapon.
That reminds me of a.
Fuck it, Clay,
Drop
we're
out.
moving to England.
You could probably have a claymore now.
Exactly.
I have to see how much claymores cost. Hold on.
Oh, a lot.
I will say that I
Like,
laugh
if you
at
want a
her-
good claymore, a lot of money.
One that I could use for home defense.
A lot of money.
I could probably
I
use my
will
new
say
sword
that-
for it though. Sorry, Shell. I keep.
I have a
interrupting.
gladius.
Yeah, I got the short sword I got is up almost the length of a gladius.
So I will say that while I judge her for not wanting to be a burden to the police and being like, babe, you just gotta call them, I did hear noises in my basement once and went down to the basement with a headlamp. My phone dialed to 911 just in case, and a kitchen knife.
I mean, that sounds appropriate.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to call them in case it was nothing, which it wasn't. It was literally just like an unshuttered window that I had to fix. But
Exactly.
I
to
judged
go
her
down
for
and
being a burden. I was
investigate.
like, I didn't call the cops, so I can't really judge her, can I?
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair,
But I
that's
feel like
I mean, hey, there's something I heard, a weird noise I heard. The machete wielding burglars in my house.
True. Had I known that, I 100% would have called 911.
Also,
Right.
you live in the United States. That burglar is probably carrying a Glock,
Yeah.
which is worse.
But that's the thing is that, like you know, we have some guns, but also we have very non-traditional weapons in this house, and I can't imagine how scary it would be to enter somebody's house with the intent to burgle them, and then hearing this twang, and then an arrow hits the wall by your head.
That does sound terrifying. I'm gonna be honest.
Like I can't imagine them going, "What kind of medieval bullshit is this?"
They hear a see the crossbow bolt that's sticking out of their chest, look up to see you on the stairs leaning over with a crossbow.
Right?
Like an actual just medieval ass crossbow.
There's some kind of different visceral fear in a weapon that you are not familiar with,
hmm
and whatnot. And just being like, you know, I'm out.
There is fear to absurdity. Maybe Mr. Brown realized this. You know, a fear and absurdity. He had known Ethel for several years, but he chose, rather tactfully, not to comment upon it. Instead, he nodded and said, "Very good. Take care then. And make sure you don't come back before. And make sure you come back before it rains, aye? Not
Make
don't.
sure you don't.
Yeah, I
Don't
said
come back. Yeah.
Make sure you don't come back before it rains, alright?
I better see you out here suffering and
Thank
pain.
you. I see you later.
Also, did you say don't come back? What?
What? What?
I'm
Fine.
confused.
I'm confused. Don't be. I'm sure you will. If you need anything while your parents are away, remember, Sparky and I are just a few doors down.
Sparky.
I love that though. Just this big hulking man with a little spaniel he named Sparky. That is very charming.
I refuse to believe it's not a Chihuahua until we've seen a picture of it.
Or like a Pekingese or something like absolutely useless.
Something that's just a little yippy dog.
Yeah.
Was that
It's a
the
Pomeranian, actually.
Before we get back into it, Shell, what would you consider a soft dough? Like, this recipe just says add enough flour until you get a soft dough.
I'd say a dough that's still partially tacky, but is not considered sticky.
I would
Yeah.
That's
consider
what I
the
consider
soft
a
dough
soft
like right
dough.
after it's no longer like tacky anymore.
Because you know what a stiff dough feels like, so I think
I know.
it'd be more like a brioche dough. A brioche dough is a soft dough.
Yeah.
That's so helpful for me who has made brioche.
Yeah, you've made so much bread, haven't you, Bailey? You're a lesbian.
You know the hot dog dough that we make?
Yeah, okay, something close to that.
Yes, that is a soft dough.
I feel like I'm almost there with this. I don't know if I need to add more.
Just make sure that it's because it can't be sticky still.
I reach my hand to
Okay,
your
so-
laptop. I like squeeze your dough a little bit. Add a little
It's a
flour.
yes,
Get it to
Yeah,
just
I need to add more.
just past sticky, and then you should be good.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Here's a random baking lesson for the day stream.
Yeah,
There you
yeah,
go.
for the day. See, one thing I don't like about this cookbook that I'm using right now is that it's a whole bunch of like old Southern people recipes where they're all like, yeah, you know, a soft dough, and it's like
You would know
okay.
what that is. Yeah.
You would know what that is, or they're like, yeah, you just cook it until it looks right. And it's
Yeah.
like, thanks.
Most
Anyways,
doughs you can
yeah.
at least thump the bottom of it and just flick it, and usually most breads, if they're hollow, will work.
Sparky? Is that the name of Mr. Brown's dog? Ethel supposed it must have been. Though, what a small dog like Sparky could possibly do to help her, or anybody for that matter, was a mystery.
Yeah.
Ethel
He's there
doubted.
for morals.
Yeah, he's there to watch this hulk of a man beat someone to death.
To be fair, small dogs are also very loud and very aggressive because they think they're bigger.
Yeah.
So that's helpful. I mean, small dogs have scared away cougars because they just don't know when to shut up.
Yeah. Ethel doubted she would have cause to call on Mr. Brown, or on Sparky, during the ensuing days, but she didn't say this. Instead, she nodded and thanked Mr. Brown, who smiled in return. Good night then, Ethel. Oh. I thought he said... I misread this and thought it said, good fucking luck finding your bats.
Great.
I hope you have luck finding your bats.
I've been polite but creepy to you up until now, but fuck those bats.
Your bats are
I
stupid.
hope so too.
Damn it, I had a joke, but I forgot the meat and potatoes of it that I was gonna say. Damn it. Ethel hadn't had much luck during the last few months, but not since the start of her third and final year at university. She could have used a good bit of fortune. Mr. Brown gave Ethel a brief wave with a hand which wasn't occupied with Sparky's leash, and returned. Oh my god! Oh my god, I fucked up so many there.
So many. We fucked up so many.
I fucked up so many. Mr. Brown gave Ethel a brief wave with the hand which wasn't occupied with Sparky's leash, and turned. Mr. Brown's footsteps. I heard a dog yipping in the background music. Mr. Brown's footsteps faded away, as did the sounds of Sparky's indignant yapping, though this took far longer to fade. For such a small dog, Sparky was awfully loud.
Exactly.
Ethel watched for a few moments, motionless. Then, she spun on her heels. Oh my god, she turned around.
We flipped the axis.
Yeah. It was time to go to the forest. Ethel began to walk through the village once more, picking her way through the latticework of shadows before slowly lengthening on the ground. Her footfalls were dull on the pavement, a series of muted sounds which offered little competition when contrasted with the mournful moaning of the wind. Maybe we'll get to what I've already casted Shell for. Maybe Shell will get to voice her character.
Sad. Well, you remember how long it took us to any of the girls in the last game.
Fair. It had been breezy when Ethel first stepped outdoors, but the wind was beginning to pick up now. It tugged at her braided hair, and she shivered. She should have expected the poor weather, given it was very early January, but she was still surprised with just how frigid it was.
Wait, girl, you decided not to wear your coat in January in bumfuck nowhere, England.
like I understand that it's like ratty and whatnot, but it's still an extra layer, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the temperature? It must have been in the single digits, you know, of Celsius. Which means
Oh,
it's
so
prob-
tropical.
No, which means it's probably like 20 degrees outside.
Yeah. In Fahrenheit, it would be 20 something.
Ethel looked up at the sky which hung above her, dark and mysterious. The clouds were grim, foreboding even, but they didn't look numerous enough to promise rain. Maybe Mr. Brown had been wrong about the weather. But Mr. Brown was a sensible man, and it seemed unlikely he would make a mistake, even, or perhaps especially, about something as mundane as the weather. She would have to be quick about her walk if she didn't want to get drenched. She would step into the woods and make a neat circuit about the trees. Then, after 15 minutes, she would head back. Yes, that'd be fine. She wouldn't wander too far. What was the point? It wasn't like Oxbury's forest was all that exciting either. It was in a dreamlike manner that Ethel I keep doing this. That Ethel navigated the streets. As she did, the wind blew. It sounded sad, like a wounded animal. Maybe coming out here was a mistake after all. What was the point in coming all the way out here anyway? There was nothing that Ethel really wanted to do in the woods. She was just trying to run away from the responsibilities, like she had after Clementine. But Ethel didn't want to think about that.
Music.
It was with uncertain eyes that Ethel glanced about the dense woodland which surrounded her. In the distance, somewhere far above her head, an owl hooted. The sound split the air quite suddenly, and Ethel jumped. She hadn't expected it. She could feel her pulse hammering uncomfortably in the base of her neck. Ethel had been into the forest many, many times before. Sometimes with her parents, sometimes with her brothers, but more often than not on her own. But it felt different tonight. Maybe it was because of Mr. Brown's warning. That Delaney girl was on Ethel's mind. It felt almost as if she were watching her from the shadows, giggling at Ethel's unease.
Oh.
There was something disconcerting about the woods tonight. Something devouring. It seemed almost to be inviting her in. But beneath its cordiality, there lurked something uncompromising. When Ethel closed her eyes, she thought she could even hear strange whispers upon the breeze. But surely that was silly. Nothing lived in the forest apart from rabbits, mice, and the odd badger. There was nothing waiting in the woods for her. She was being stupid. Ethel took a deep breath. Then, she stepped forwards. The loose leaves strewn on the cold, hard ground crunched beneath her soles, and once again, an owl hooted. This time, however, it didn't startle her. She was prepared for it. Ethel continued to tramp through the woods, her father's chunky torch in hand. It wasn't a very reliable source of light, kept gutting in and out. At least it had a dual purpose. It was a mag light after all.
Yup.
You could bludgeon somebody to death with a mag light.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's why she brought it.
There's a reason why cops carry them.
Yeah.
Also, I've decided that this dough might suck, but I'm done with it.
That's fine. Good luck on the dough.
What's the texture of it like?
I've already greased it. It's done.
I was about to say, because if it's a weird texture, you can also knead it with a little bit of oil and sometimes it softens.
It was one of those things where, like, the more I needed it, the getting and stop doing that.
Okay.
It also is not necessarily meant to be kneaded, but I had to knead it to get some of the dough to actually work into it because just stirring it was not working.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. I'll force you to eat it on Sunday, and
Okay.
you can tell me if it worked or not.
What's it gonna be?
Dinner rolls.
Cool.
Ooh.
Okay. I'm done.
Oh, yeah, I know exactly the type of thing you're making then. Yeah. Yeah. You're probably fine.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's from my cast iron cookbook,
Ooh. There you go. Huh.
and I had to make mashed potatoes for this. So like,
Ooh. As far as your cast iron goes, remind me to send you my cast iron rolls recipe. It's super like easy,
okay,
and you can do several different things with it. I'll send you all you can do with it because it's fantastic. It's the easiest recipe I've found.
okay.
So I'm just reading something. Okay. If push came to shove, and she was set upon by some miscreant, it was heavy enough that she could use it as a weapon. Ethel doubted anybody would attack her, however, despite Mr. Brown's warnings. She was in Oxbury, for goodness sake. It wasn't the sort of place where people were attacked. Hell, not
Yeah,
even
but
missing.
people go missing.
Yeah, people just go missing. They walk into the woods and they never come back. That's it.
That's it.
Hell, not even the missing Delaney girl had been attacked. She had simply disappeared. As far as you know.
As far as you know.
What the fuck? Jesus. Besides, it wasn't like Ethel had anything on her that was worth stealing. Her phone was an old Samsung, at least 6 generations out of date. So delightfully archaic in the current year that Clementine had laughed at her. She'd always joked that Ethel's phone belonged in a museum. Ethel hadn't bothered to bring her wallet with her either. There weren't... There weren't any shops open this late. There were scarcely any shops in Oxbury at all, save for the corner shop owned by the Lilac family. And that closed at 6 o'clock. 6 had already come, and then passed. Clint! Fucking, what are you doing? Hey.
Good kitty.
No. Dad. What are you doing? Sorry, the goblin that lives in my room is, I don't know, like, making some sort of... That was weird. 6 had already come, then passed, a long time ago. Now, it was almost 9 o'clock, and Ethel could feel it. The wind blew, uncomfortably cold, trailing its invisible fingers against Ethel's cheeks. Mr. Brown had warned that it might rain. Bless you. But it felt so cold, snow was beginning to seem more likely. Though it had been cold for the last month, it hadn't snowed yet. It had been a predictably British sort of Christmas. Not white, but brown and gray and squatty. There had been no pure white sheets of incorruptible snow, nor even a few token powdery flakes falling from the sky. Global warming. There had, however, been rain, and plenty of it. Rain which had tipped it down in stair rods on Christmas Eve and Boxing Day. It hadn't rained on Christmas itself, which had been something of a small mercy, but it had been continuously cloudy and overcast throughout the holy day. Ethel hadn't gone outside on Christmas, though her parents and her brothers had. They'd asked if she'd like to take a turn in the woods herself, or to get some color into her cheeks, but Ethel had declined these generous invitations. Ethel had thought it'd be too muddy. She hadn't wanted to twist her ankle. Fortunately, it hadn't rained at all in the ensuing week. Forest floor might once have been... been squelching mud and mire, but now the dirt was reassuringly cold and compact. Ethel was unsure whether that would last very long, however, not if it really did begin to rain. The moon overhead was round and full that night, just like a perfect pearl, an earring nestled in the ear of a beautiful woman. Lauren had nagged Ethel to get her own ears pierced, but Ethel had never wanted to go along with it. She'd worried that it would hurt. Anyway, she hadn't really seen the point in it. She didn't understand the appeal of poking holes in herself. Not so she could gussy herself up with studs and hoops and glints of gold. She had no interest in making herself a target for any thieving magpies. Lauren had always laughed at Ethel's unease. Don't be so dopey. Heaps of girls even younger than you get their ears pierced. I was only 7 when I had mine done, and it didn't hurt at all. But Ethel had remained firm. She could be
Again,
stubborn.
I'm going to throw out the Korean mom comparison because my mom pierced mine when I was 10 months old.
Oh boy. She could be stubborn about the strangest of things. Lauren had been bemused by her daughter's indifference, but she hadn't pushed the issue. Not too much, at least. Instead, Lauren had shrugged and said, "Oh well, suit yourself. You are being daft though, Effie." That was how most of Ethel's conversations with her mother went. She was always calling her daft. Sometimes Ethel took offense, even though it was a very mild insult. Better, even, than the things kids said on the playground. Sometimes, however, she thought that her mother had a point. She really was daft. She was being daft right now, wandering through the woods so very late at night, but still, she didn't stop. She kept on walking, the foliage crunching underfoot. Sometimes Ethel liked to imagine there was a heroine from a romantic poem when she wandered through the woods. That she was a nameless beauty Lord Brian would have committed to the paper, who walked with all the grace of the night itself. But Ethel knew that this was nothing more than a fantasy. She was, in all aspects, hopelessly plain. Maybe that was why Clementine had. No. Ethel wasn't going to think about that. She did have to think about her thesis, however. It was weighing on her. Why, she wondered. Had she been silly enough to write her thesis on romantic poets when they focused so intensely, obsessively even, on things which were beautiful? If they weren't waxing poetic on beautiful women, they were writing of the beauties of nature, of lakes and forests and hills and dizzyingly high cliffs capped with snow. Sometimes, Ethel liked to read about the beauties of nature. It was rare that she liked to read about beautiful women. The former was uplifting, but the latter was just depressing. Was that why she was struggling with her thesis so much? Was it the subject matter? Ethel didn't think she had lost interest in her poetry, but her enthusiasm had definitely dwindled. Maybe it was inevitable when Clementine had been the one to pique her interest on the subject. Clementine had always been very passionate about poetry, romantic poetry in particular. Through reading these old poems with Clementine, Ethel had found something in them to appreciate herself. Something she had never noticed before. But maybe it wasn't the words of these poems she had appreciated, but the way they sounded in Clementine's mouth when she spoke them. Had Ethel only pretended to be interested in poetry because she had wanted to have more in common with Clementine? In retrospect, that seemed depressingly likely. Ethel had wanted Clementine to like her. She had been almost slavish in the way she had followed her about, laughing at all of her jokes a little too loudly, affirming that yes, of course all of her essays were wonderfully original. She'd even offered to be Clementine's caddy when they had been on campus. Ethel had only been too happy to buy Clementine drinks from the vending machine or snacks from the student shop whenever she so desired. Ethel had wanted Clementine to like her so badly for such a long time. Then, Clementine had liked her, and it had been wonderful. For over a year, Ethel had been suspended upon the clouds. Nothing could have hurt her. Until it all came crashing down. Had that been inevitable? Maybe she should have expected it. Ethel shuddered. She felt very, very cold and uncomfortable alongside it. This coldness did not abate the further Ethel walked into the woods. An icy chill coiled inside her guts, clenched about her heart like a vice. She could feel it too, upon the crown of her head, trickling down her neck. She could feel...
Sorry, I was muted. So
Nah,
I
you're
said
good.
it and then I didn't. Oh. Wow. Discord ate that.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah?
Hey Logan, how are you doing, bud? Sorry. I didn't realize
Oh.
that was you. Was that Rain? Yeah, I was wondering, because I was like, who the hell would call me Mr. David? And like, no one crossed my mind.
Yeah.
I have a very proper stalker.
Nice. It looked like Mr. Brown had been right. The rain
Yeah,
came
right.
slowly at first, and irregularly. But it didn't take long for spears of the stuff started pelting down.
Damn.
I'm doing good, Logan. Thanks for asking. The rain made everything look faint and blurry, as if it was being viewed through a filter. Something in the undergrowth rustled, and Ethel glanced in its direction, the wind whipping her hair about her face. What was that? Ethel knew the answer to that was probably nothing, or if it wasn't nothing, then it was a small and insignificant sort of something. It must have been a rabbit seeking shelter from the rain. That, or a vole, or maybe a sodden squirrel. There was nothing for Ethel to worry about, apart from the miserable weather, of course. Ethel shouldn't have ventured so far in the woods, but it was too late to worry about that now. She couldn't double back on herself in hopes of avoiding the rain. Her home was a good half-hour walk away. Ethel had come further than she had meant to, and had fallen, quite literally, off the beaten path.
Damn, what's with these girls wandering the woods and falling?
They be falling with their dirty dress with the torn hems.
I forgot about that.
Also, I am just now finally to sit down at my desk after, 2 hours, and then I remembered I forgot to take my medicine 2 hours ago.
Oh no.
You know, the idea of setting an alarm to my meds works out really well when that time doesn't also coincide with, oh, I need to jump on call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is why I'm really grateful for I think it's a 36-hour medication. So I don't even have to take it at the same time every day as long as I catch it in the right you're an idiot window.
Well, so I've been really bad about not taking it at the same time, and now it's like I'm trying to be better about that, because it used to be that I would just take my medicine whenever I would go to sleep, like right before I went to bed. However, that I realized that is like hours long difference depending on the night.
Yeah. I feel you. For me on the weekdays it was all the same, but on the weekends it was different.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, Logan? The trees now rose up about her, dark and ominous, like mute watchmen standing sentinel. Ethel looked about worriedly. She had no idea when the rain was going to stop, but she doubted it would be any time soon. Oh, tell Ollie I said hi back. I do miss those kids. They're fun to be around.
you also don't have to respond to everything they say, just so
I
you
know, but I'll feel bad. She had to take shelter somewhere, but where?
A hollow tree.
What about the church? Oh, we're getting there.
There's a church out here.
St. Catherine's was an old, crooked building which bordered the forest. It was located on the fringe of Oxbury, away from the rest of the houses. Ethel's parents weren't religious, but her grandmother was. And she'd taken Ethel to St. Catherine's a few times in the past, mostly for Easter and Christmas services where they sang hymns praising a god none of them put all that much stock in.
Damn.
Ethel,
That was so cool.
yeah. Ethel wasn't very religious either. She must have inherited it from her father, just like his freckles. But she did wonder, on occasion, if the world was governed by some greater power nobody could see. Ethel had even tried praying a few times, as it happened, to see if some mysterious greater being would answer. But she had felt silly and self-conscious, even though she had been on her own, and she had soon stopped.
I feel so relatable.
She hadn't been able to rid herself of the mental image of her father, scoffing as he said, "Hey, Clay."
Clay's muted.
Yes.
Plays on a mission.
Clay's on a fucking mission. Australian. Alright. God, what a load of bollocks. I guess I'm doing Irish instead, actually. Sorry.
Actually,
I
it's
really,
Irish.
I don't know why I can't do an Australian accent. I need to
can't
practice
either.
at some point. The only god I believe in is Jimi Hendrix.
God.
Ethel hadn't been about to pray to Jimi Hendrix, of course, and the mere idea had been so silly that it had dampened her momentary religious musings.
Is it sad that just now do I realize that's how you spelled Jimi Hendrix?
That is how
How
you
did you
spell
think you
Jimi
spelled
Hendrix.
it?
The normal way,
I just thought it
Jimmy.
was- Yeah, I just thought it was
Oh, fair. Fair.
It's normal.
The
That's
way you
fair.
spell
That's
the
fair.
name Jimmy,
Yeah, like you spell the name Jimmy.
like a normal person would do.
Like it's a normal person.
But there's like 3 ways to spell Johnny too. It's all stupid.
Yeah.
There's
yeah,
what?
Like 3 ways to spell Johnny.
Ethel,
You know, I
like
never
the-
thought about that.
Like that. Like Janie, there's at least 2 to 3 different ways to spell Janie too.
yeah.
Okay, this is gonna break my brain. Let's continue.
How
I've
many
had a
ways do
long
you think
day.
there are to spell David? I'll give you a hint. There's only one. Ethel still wasn't sure if she believed in God, but if he did exist, she was sure he wouldn't mind if she took shelter in one of his churches for a while.
That's where she was mistaken.
Vengeful God.
Vengeful God. Whoa, child of man. Take this mushroom, wife.
Who is this unbeliever that steps onto my sacred soil?
Make her rot. If she could avoid the worst of the rain, then she would have nothing negative to say on the subject of organized religion in the foreseeable future. It
Fair
wasn't like
girl.
Ethel had any particular vendetta against Christianity anyway. Not like her father, who railed against it as being illogical and impractical. Oh, he's one of those atheists. Got it.
I feel like he's probably. I'm gonna read into it that the grandmother was his mom, and he's probably pushing back against that.
Yup, against the hyper strict, hyper religious.
Yeah.
Jude found a lot of things illogical and impractical. Ethel knew that her love for English literature ranked quite highly on his list. Aw,
What?
that's
God, he's one of
sad.
those that doesn't even like literature.
Man. So, as much as I can be like a music snob, I'm like, oh wow, pop music, huh? Like, my main thing is like, it's whatever. If it makes you happy, it's cool. I'll judge you for it. Only listening to like pop music or like Taylor Swift or something. But like,
But not like in an I won't talk to you kind of way.
yeah,
or...
if it makes you happy, it doesn't bother me unless you're blasting it, right?
Right.
He's the opposite. He is very clearly a, what, you don't fucking listen to rock? Oh, I have some news for you. You're going to hell, bud. Like, weird and religious in a different sort of way.
And I'm not sure if it's just English literature or literature in general, because now I'm getting a flashback to Matilda with her parents that just did not read.
There you go.
And they were like, reading is for losers.
I mean, it kind of seems like perhaps he's not somebody who likes the arts that well.
And it could be traditionalism. Like, he doesn't like
Yeah.
traditional English literature either.
Yeah.
That might be what it is.
All right, Bailey, bite your lip.
Yeah, I was going to say, Ethel bit her lip. Audible lip biting noise.
I don't know what an audible lip biting noise would be.
Mmm.
It's chomp ow.
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 Owie.
Owie.
Ellie. Logan says he's seen David spelled D-A-V-E-D.
Ew.
David.
That is not, that's Daved.
That's Dave. That's
You've
Dave.
been daved.
You've been hit by, you've been struck by a Daved. Then,
Criminal?
it's terminal. Then she began to pick her way through the forest. The rain was coming down even harder now. Thick and fast and unforgiving, and it obscured her vision. It didn't help that it was so dark either. The light from Jude's old torch wasn't doing much to help. It was hard for Ethel to keep her footing. The floor was mulchy, and it was festooned with roots, arched, raised things which threatened to trip Ethel at every step. I love the word festooned.
Yeah.
Ethel sidestepped the thorn bush, and very nearly walked smack dab into a tree, though she was able to circumnavigate it just in time.
It sounds like somebody learning to navigate their character in a video game for the first time and they strafe and run straight into a tree.
Mm-hmm. Alright, alright. Is this a weird tank control thing, or up? Nah, I'm stuck on the bush. I'm stuck on the bush.
Clipped into the bush and won't let me out.
Oh, I have to restart. That had been a close call. As little as Ethel enjoyed being rained on, she enjoyed the thought of breaking a limb even less. Ethel continued to walk, picking up speed as she did. The church wasn't so far away now. She wouldn't be able to duck inside and dry herself off, of course, or provided, of course, that the door was unlocked. She broke through the last line of trees, her clothes sticking to her skin like tarpaulin, and looked up at St. Catherine's. The church was small and squat, but it did look oddly imposing in the dark. Its tiled roof superimposed against the wickedly thin crescent moon. St. Catherine's arched wooden door loomed over Ethel as she approached it, almost consuming in the darkness. Ethel had been sure she would be able to take shelter here, like the persecuted Esmeralda in The Hunchback of Notre Dame. But maybe not.
Dear God, I love that book.
I've heard it's a really good book.
It's so good. I'll talk to you about it later.
It wouldn't have been too surprising if the warden had locked the church come sunset. It wouldn't do to have vandals laying waste to its interior, making off with the burnished bronze candlesticks and the prayer mats. Ethel didn't think there was
Look,
anything.
if you were a real...
What?
Sorry, I'm just saying, although if you were, like, a real Christian, if somebody was poor enough to want those things, you would give it to them. But, you know,
Yeah.
that aside.
Ethel didn't think there was anything worth nicking at St. Catherine's, but some people would take anything if it wasn't nailed down. It wasn't like there was much else to do in Oxbury, other than look for the potentially decomposing corpse of the presumably dead Delaney girl. But now she had come this far, she felt compelled to try. It would have been foolish to back down now. Ethel paused to wipe her brow free of rainwater. Not that it much mattered, really, given how fiercely the rain was still pouring down. Then, she reached for the wooden door of St. Catherine's. She pressed her palm against the door and pushed inwards. She didn't expect the door to give way oh my god. She didn't expect the door to give way beneath her touch. She was starting to feel decidedly pessimistic. But Ethel gasped, surprised, as the door cleaved beneath her touch. So it was open after all. That was reassuring. Ethel pushed against the door with more strength than before, and the door swung inwards. The door was heavy, but it offered little resistance, creaking loudly like some subterranean monster. Ethel could see a sliver of the church through the gap which emerged, and she could see it was dark. This, however, was to be expected. It was very late at night. It seemed unlikely that there would be anybody else there at such an hour. She would have been alarmed, in fact, if there was. I have terrible news, honey. It came as a great surprise, therefore, when Ethel finally slipped inside the building and she saw her.
It's her. She's gonna show up.
I kind of like those heels.
Mm-hmm.
Sheer skirt, bold choice in a church.
Yeah.
Damn, she got some back muscles.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for her. She rose.
I like the achievement you got.
Oh yeah. The have a mysterious
Ave
encounter
Maria.
over- Yeah.
I just like the name of it.
Ave Maria. There was a girl standing in the chancel, framed by the stained glass window. Ethel couldn't see the girl's face, but she could see how slender her waist was, how shapely her calves. The girl wasn't dressed for a downpour. She wasn't dressed for a British winter in general, the rain notwithstanding. The girl's clothes were simple, a summer dress cinched at the back with a ribbon. Her legs were bare. She wore no leggings, nor any tights. It didn't even look like she was wearing socks. Instead, she wore a pair of sandals which had the slightest suggestion of a heel. The back of the girl's feet were exposed, the feet which were arched and raised a couple of centimeters above the floor. The girl was only standing, but there was a curious grace to her, even as she remained motionless, which makes Ethel's heart ache. Ethel had yet to see her face, but she didn't need to. She already knew that this world would be heartbreakingly beautiful. The girl wasn't even a little bit damp. Not like Ethel. She must have arrived at the church before the rain had started. That, or she'd had the foresight to bring an umbrella with her. Why? Ethel wondered. Hadn't she brought an umbrella too? She could have ducked back inside after Mr. Brown had warned her about the rain to retrieve one. Wouldn't that have been the sensible thing to do? Ethel hadn't wanted to do the sensible thing, however. She hadn't wanted to listen to Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown had been her teacher once, and she wanted to prove herself. Oh, she had wanted to prove to herself that she wasn't a child anymore, that she no longer had to take his advice. How very wrong she was. Once more, her mother's cheerful castigations returned to Ethel. Oh well, suit yourself. You are being daft though, Effie. Why was it that all of the adults in her life seemed to know better than she did? Because they're old. Dumbass.
It's called wisdom. Life experience.
Yeah. Lauren had never been to university. Neither had Jude. But they were far more sensible. Maybe it was because no matter what Ethel liked to tell herself, she wasn't a real adult herself. No, you're not. Not yet. You're 21. You can buy beer now. That's about it.
I mean, in the UK, she probably could at least drink at a pub before then.
I think it was 18.
At
Mhm.
19 probably.
Oh, hey, Clay's back.
Hey.
I never left. What do you mean?
You had a line.
It's okay. David totally didn't say you're in a very Irish Australian accent.
Yeah.
You're Australian.
Irish staying. I couldn't do
Irish
Australian.
Australian.
She was still a child, a little girl playing pretend. There was little sense standing there sadly, smelling of petrichor, slowly dribbling rainwater all over the uneven stone floor. The girl was not simply standing there, she was singing. Ethel recognized the song which tumbled from her lips, pure and clear as spring water. It was Ave Maria. Ethel stood there, stunned into silence. The more the girl sang, the less the rest of the world seemed to matter. The steady pitter-patter of the rain fell away. It simply ceased to exist. For several moments, it was just Ethel and the girl, and the girl's lovely, lyrical voice. Ethel stood there dumbly, letting the girl's voice wash over her when... Alright, Michelle?
Oh, this is me now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do we have here?
Oh.
Ethel jumped as the girl turned about, her bobbed hair fluttering. The girl was standing in such a way that the stained glass window at the back of the church framed her face perfectly. The positioning of it was so perfect, in fact, it looked like a shot from a movie. The girl, a trained actress, told precisely where to stand. The moonlight which shone through the window backlit the girl's short hair so it glowed, just like a dark, inverted halo. The girl didn't look like any of the angels Ethel had seen pictured before. However, not the romantic sort with golden locks and baby blues, nor the biblically accurate ones made of flickering flames with hundreds of vast, staring eyes. The girl only had 2 eyes, which were positioned where they should have been, and framed with a sweep of dark lashes. You know, normal things
Just
you
the number of eyes now.
I don't either, I'm gonna be honest.
They were exactly where they should have been.
Correct number of eyes in the correct position.
Hello, human. I have
Absolutely normal human eyes.
the
Yeah.
perfect eyes, right where they should be, in the perfect location. Spaced directly, perfectly apart. Her nose was snub, and her lips curved upwards into a small smile. Her skin, meanwhile, was very white. She didn't have wings, and neither did she wear a robe, though her pale green dress looked almost angelic. There's too much mischief in her smile for her countenance to be truly seraphic. I did misread that as sapphic for just a split second, I'm gonna be honest. But she still took Ethel's breath away.
Hello, stranger. I've not seen you around before. Not that that's saying much, I guess. I don't know many people around here. Were you watching me?
Ethel's face, which had always had a pinkish underturn, now turned red. She dropped her gaze to her feet and mumbled,
Sorry, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
So you were watching me.
Ethel gnawed on the damp, fleshy inside of her cheek. A few moments of silence passed. Silence which was filled with the steady pitter-patter of the rain outside. which fell on the grass and the dirt and all of the tombstones. Ethel could feel her palms beginning to sweat. Slowly, like a mechanical doll in need of recalibrating, she nodded.
I thought so. I'm glad you're not a liar. I like honest girls.
Thank you.
Oh god.
Girl.
Ethel frowned. She didn't say that. She hadn't told the narrator yet, but she was trans.
Yeah, so she's transing the gender right now.
Manning had taken great offense about being called a boy the moment he'd started secondary school. He was in year 9 now, but his voice had dropped and he already had facial hair, and everyone called him a young man. Why then? Did Ethel have to be a girl when she was already 21?
Girl, you were the one who were referring to this other lady as a girl in your head.
And she herself as a child.
Hey, honey. Hey, Ethel, I think you're overthinking this.
Yeah.
I feel like that's her MO.
Yeah. Yeah, we did go through nearly 2 hours of narration, huh?
Like her conversation with Mr. Brown, she said like 3 words just in different orders.
Yeah. Yes, no,
I'm good. Sorry.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Oh, carry on then.
Ethel, oh, okay, goodbye. It was nice to see you, I guess. She was too old for it, wasn't she? No.
Oh, don't you like being called a girl? I didn't offend you, did I?
Yeah, she's a hypocrite. Oh, no, it's fine. I don't mind. I mean, I probably offended you more with my staring. I should have said something. Sorry?
Oh, you don't need to apologize, silly. I don't mind.
You don't?
The girl shook her head.
It's only teasing. It might be rude to eavesdrop, but I prefer singing when I have a captive audience. Otherwise, it feels a bit pointless. So what did you think?
About what?
About my singing, obviously. Was it good? Great? The best thing you've ever heard?
You were enchanting.
Enchanting, eh? That's a bit more flowery than I was expecting. Do you like reading by any chance?
I love that this girl is like, oh, I can sense the lesbian vibes off of this girl. I'm gonna like speed to get to know her.
Yeah.
Biblically, while standing in a church.
Mm.
I study English literature at university, so I guess.
That's it. I'm
Girl, you
getting to
definitely read.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm getting to know this girl biblically at the church. You know what that means, right?
I feel like
Chad?
Hoser sang a song about this.
Oh yeah.
I knew it. You did give me that impression, though.
What with your mousy eyes and your boring clothing
And your clear depression.
and your dirty dress with the torn hem.
You give me the impression of a girl whose parents are shit and had to escape her reality into books. I don't relate.
I. What do you mean you don't relate? I'm gonna cry now.
No.
The girl.
This is sound of a violin.
God, it did sound like a violin. She cries, and it sounds like a violin whining.
It turns out the screechy sound her brother always like hated when she played violin was just her crying.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The girl took a seat upon the pew, then shot Ethel a look which could only be described as, "Come hither."
God, I can only imagine her crossing her legs slowly.
You know.
With a thin, half-moon smile. I love how evil she looks.
She's perfect.
The
Like
Fey,
sexual seductive, but not with good intentions.
Yeah.
the Fey Temptress I found in a church wants to decompose me internally. That's crazy.
The Fate Temptress. Look, we were walking in the woods in England, of all places.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. At
The
night.
weirdest part about this is that we're doing this in a church, of all places.
Churches can be deconsecrated.
That is true, I
Yeah.
guess. But with a thin, half-moon smile, she patted the pew, her pale hand cleaving through the darkness.
Why don't you come here and talk to me? Feels like it's been an age since I last had a chat with a girl my age, and I'm dying for it. Hawkesbury's so boring.
Ethel hung back, abashed, almost afraid at the girl's insistences. Why was this girl so interested in her? Shell,
be fair-
for your next line read, I need you to point at the player character and say, "I know what you are." Sorry, Vales, what are you doing? Or saying?
I was gonna say, finally, with some common sense in this bitch.
Suspicion.
She wasn't anything special.
Okay.
Classic
I feel like that's
violinist.
a lot.
Going for
Yeah.
her PhD, no big fucking deal.
It seemed ludicrous, unthinkable even, that she should care. The girl really must have been bored. Was Ethel her last resort? A last-ditch attempt to keep herself amused?
Hello?
The girl cocked her head to one side, her smile an amused, impish one.
Didn't you hear me? I would have thought the rain would have washed those ears of yours out.
Damn.
Won't you come and sit with me? I could hardly have a conversation with you from all the way across the church. Unless you're afraid that I might bite.
She just goes, "No, I'm just scared I might be into it. I mean, wait,
She's like, nope, you're gonna bite, I'm gonna leave.
Oh, you're gonna bite.
Yeah, me and Clay. Oh, you'll bite?
Bite slip.
Well, I'm gonna be realistic. Me, Clay, and Bailey. Oh, you'll bite, won't you?
I think it's probably all of us.
It might be all of us. Ethel allowed herself to think briefly of the girl's bite. Oh my god!
We all just did that, yep.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go! A sharp incisors digging into her throat, like something from a gothic novel, and she shivered. She wasn't sure if she wholly disliked that thought, and this left her feeling unsettled.
Gay.
Panic! Panic!
Hey Clay, you know what's really funny? Gay people.
You know what's even funnier? Gay panic.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Panic, as the cool kids call it.
Panic.
All panic. No disco.
Mm.
Oh, no, it's fine. I'm not afraid. I'll sit.
Ethel crossed the church, her soul slapping against the flagstones. Thud, thud, thud. Then sat.
Like, as far as physically possible.
She was still damp, just like the mushroom girl wanted, and droplets of water slid from her clothes as she walked, because it'd make her easier to decompose, and nothing else.
Fungi do love damp places.
Fungi
Yeah.
does like dumb places. She's ready for the spores.
Yeah, she's ready.
That's where fungus grows. Come on now.
Yeah, it's where you had to start at her. I'm not gonna say it.
They like dark, damp places, Bailey.
Yeah, they like dark, damp places.
We're going to hell.
Yeah, we're going together.
It's gonna be a fun road trip. Who's
Yeah.
bringing snacks?
All the company.
I'll get snacks.
I'll bring jerky.
Ooh, hell yeah.
Ooh.
I'll get some M&Ms.
Jerky was always my road snack. Traveling with my parents when I was young.
It's a good road snack.
Mm-hmm.
Small puddles tracked her progress from the entrance of the... The fucking cleaner in the morning, like, what the fuck happened in here?
Where are these puddles from?
There's
All these
like-
muddy footprints? God damn it.
They're fucking mushroom Yuri in my church.
More likely than you think.
They're stored mushroom in my church.
You had a church at the edge of the woods in a small town. I don't know what the fuck you expected.
Oh, from the entrance of the church with its dome door all the way to the pew where she settled herself. Ethel's long skirt was clinging to her thighs, and her sweater was uncomfortably damp. I
Ugh,
knew-
Damn.
I knew our...
That feeling. I hate that feeling.
I thought you were about to crack a joke.
No,
I do love
no,
that
I
our-
just like legitimately loathe feeling damp.
If I have a nice shirt on, like a comfortable shirt on, I don't mind it that much if it gets wet. But that's just me. I'm a weirdo.
I think for me, all the times that I've been damp have been not comfortable clothes for being damp in.
Oh yeah, I'm also a man, so I don't have breasts for people to stare at poking through my shirt. So like that's a bonus, I guess.
Or you know, if you wear any like multicolored underwear or anything while you're wearing light colored pants.
Yep.
Yeah, you know. Or a shirt.
Personally, as a man, I prefer it when people stare at my breasts.
Well, that's because you actually
Hard for
have
these.
tits, okay? Look.
Clay lives in the era of the perpetual wet t-shirt contest.
Shit, you right?
Why is your shirt wet? It's not even raining. I don't know.
I don't know, it just happens, you know? Naturally.
It's definitely not sweat.
It's not sweat.
I'm nervous at all times.
It's not sweat. It's dew. What?
Too. From
What?
the mountain.
Yes. The dew of the mountain. Ethel tended to wear baggy.
You steal my Mountain Dew?
Hey, Maggie. Ethel tended to wear baggy, oversized clothes, but the rainwater had rendered them uncomfortably skin tight.
Oh man, that must be so heavy too.
Yeah, that would
Mhm.
suck. When they get that wet, it sucks. She would have felt self-conscious regardless, being seen in such a state by anybody, even Mr. Brown. But being perceived by a girl as pretty as wherever her name was, she looked like she could have been a Celeste or even a Celine. Wasn't doing her self-esteem any favors. Wetly, like a cat,
Wetly. Like a cat. Like a cat.
Ethel looked down at
Yeah,
her lap,
Yeah.
and wanly she threaded her fingers together. Ethel is like a wet cat of a girl. Bless her
Yeah.
heart.
Sweet girl.
Peak girl failure.
Girl failure.
She isn't even like, I wouldn't even like consider her a girl failure. 'Cause she's like doing things and like, I would consider her successful at her age, having mostly gotten through university. She just hates her life. God.
She's successful, but yet at the same time very pitiable.
Yes.
Like, wet cat, but put like a graduation cap on it. That's her.
There you go.
Yes.
We did
Oh,
it.
right. Graduation cap.
It's
I
like
love
you've done so much, but you're still in this state.
Mm-hmm.
So she had sat, just as the girl had asked her. Now what?
My. You're quite the awkward one, aren't you?
Damn.
You've been since to me since seeing me. Please, don't tell me you're really afraid of me.
What? Oh no.
I'm just wondering what those teeth would. I mean,
There's a Chapo Roan song probably about this.
yeah, probably something
I'm
sapphic
just
and flowery.
shy. Well, there is one line. I forget which song it is where she's like, where she's like going off about like what she likes about women, and one of them is like, and her canine teeth in the side of my neck, and I'm like, yeah, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
All girls are vampires. Got it.
All girls are vampires. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I should probably click.
You've not done anything wrong. This is all my fault.
This is all my fault. The violin screeching ensues.
Hmm.
The girl frowned, one hand resting beneath her chin.
You say it's your fault, but I don't think you've done anything wrong either.
I'm all wet.
You
my
don't?
fault. The guy said if she get an umbrella or go inside it, I didn't get the umbrella and keep going and now I'm wet.
Like she just starts dumping on this poor thing. Like this like random girl.
My parents
No.
hate me. My brothers hate me. They think it's shitty that I like the violin.
It's like the last straw thing. She's like, and now I'm damp.
And I like broke up with my girlfriend. Like broke up with me because I'm boring apparently.
And I lost my favorite CD.
And she just like stops her with, "So you're single right now?" And just like,
Oh. Oh, I got out of
I can
that.
work with this. That's what she thinks.
No, I
Single,
don't. I
damp,
I don't-
2 things off my checklist.
yeah.
Pathetic.
single
Collective
and
amount of
vulnerable.
eyes.
Cha-ching. No, I don't. I don't see why you feel the need to apologize. I'm not upset. I was just stating a fact. You're so quiet. I was worrying whether I'd done something to upset you. But I guess this is just the way you are.
I've never been good at small talk. I never really know what to say, so I'm sorry. I must be so boring.
Now. I'll be the judge of that. I've not known you long enough to find you boring. And I wouldn't have started talking to you in the first place if you hadn't piqued my interest.
Or my appetite.
Shh. That's the quiet part.
Oh, sorry. the second head goes back into her back.
Not yet. Not yet. You don't think I'm a poor judge of character, do you?
In this case.
Yeah.
In this case, maybe. But Ethel was so afraid of offending the girl, even inadvertently, she hastily said,
I don't think so, but it's hard to say. I mean, I don't know you very well.
You raise a good point. We are strangers, and this has been a pretty strange meeting. I wouldn't be surprised if you're wondering who this crazy girl is who's been singing by herself in the church at night. I must seem like a total nutter.
I don't know if I would say that.
You probably wouldn't know. I think you're too considerate. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what you were thinking, though.
Well,
Accurate. Go on. You can be honest with me. You must think I'm barmy.
"You must think I'm barmy."
Like the dinosaur?
Yes! My favorite children's television program. Oh,
God,
this
that would be
bitch
such
is
an Ethel response. though.
crazy.
I don't know if I'd call you that. But this is a little strange, I suppose.
Oh, come on. You're being too generous. I know I'm more than a bit strange.
Your hobbies might be a bit unusual, I guess.
As somebody who used to read in graveyards, I feel this girl. Again with the tact. You'd make a good politician.
But who am I to judge? I went for a walk in the woods late at night, and when I knew it was going to rain, I'm not much better.
I guess not. Maybe that's what brought us together then.
What? The rain?
No, it's silly. I think there's a deeper meaning behind our meeting than this.
Deeper?
Just leans in real close. Deeper.
Yeah. We must be like two alike souls. Or maybe two birds of a feather, if that doesn't sound too out there. We're both weirdos, so we ought to stick together. The world isn't very accepting of people like us.
Mm.
Now, what's your name? Surely you must have one.
Oh, I'm Ethel.
And don't call me Shirley.
Ethel's voice was quiet when fuck you. It's me, the narrator. Fuck you. When she replied, as if she was repeating a curse word. And to her ears, it may as well have been one. As far as names went, Ethel wasn't very flattering. It was so old-fashioned, it spoke more of an elderly spinsters than it did 21-year-olds.
Girl, you could just change it.
Shania had teased Ethel about her name incessantly, as though she hadn't been named after the country singer. Ethel
What
would
was Shania?
Yeah,
Is it Shania?
yeah.
Yeah, Shania
Like
Twain.
Shania Twain.
Ah. Ethel would have preferred to be a
Called
Shania.
Eddie. There's lots of different names you could go by.
Ethel would have preferred to be a Shania any day of the week over a boring old Ethel, though. Ethel often resented her parents for landing her with that name, though it was mostly Lauren's fault, she supposed, for naming her after her grandmother, Ethel's great-grandmother, especially when her brothers had suitably modern names. Why was she the only one stuck with a name plucked straight from the dusty archives of a Victorian poorhouse?
Dude, at least your name's not like Bertha. Like, chill.
Yeah.
Ethel isn't that bad.
No.
I think it's a good
No.
name. It was
Effie would be a cute nickname.
Mhm. Her mom already calls her Effie. Like hell.
There you go.
It was so unfair. The girl didn't seem to mind Ethel's name, however, because she laughed.
Ethel. Pretty.
No, it isn't. You're teasing me.
No, I'm not. Honest to God. We're in a church, and I never dare take the Lord's name in vain. I'm a good Christian like that, you know?
Christian fungal girls in your area.
In your area with sheer dresses and no bra.
Yeah, I knew,
Lesbian
Listen,
I knew a few like that back in my day. They were very fungal. Clay gets it.
You are?
no. Now I really am pulling your leg.
I am Grognak. What?
The Antichrist.
The anti.
Yeah, I'm Grognak, the Antichrist. I don't know
Right.
how to process any of what you just said to me.
Right, well, I suspected as much. Also, I just realized that some of the highlights in my hair are in the shape of hearts, and that's kind of cute.
It is really cute.
Oh shit, yeah, you're right.
You shouldn't be so self-conscious, though. Ethel's a perfectly nice name. I've met girls who were saddled with much, much worse.
Like Bertha.
Damn, I'm talking
Or
Like Bertha!
Gretchen.
Gretchen.
Gretchen's a gross name. I do not like the name Gretchen.
Yeah, there's really no good nickname for it either besides Greta, maybe.
Greta's
Even
an
then.
alright name.
Even then it's an old name, yeah.
Yeah.
Chen.
What was the name of that one girl who went missing again?
Wretch.
Indigo?
It's either, well, we didn't know what her name actually was. go.
I think that was like the
Like,
what
India.
was it India, Indigo? I can't remember. It was India
Yeah.
something.
I can't hear the name Gretchen without thinking Mean Girls and Gretchen Wieners, though.
God.
Right. Try telling that to Shania.
Who's Shania?
Oh, nobody. She doesn't matter. Not anymore. Don't know her.
Ethel's
Actually,
voice trailed
Shania's
off.
my girlfriend.
What? Okay. Ethel's voice trailed off. Then she frowned.
By the way, where are you from? You're not a local, are you?
Oh no. And thank the god I don't believe in for it. This village is so small, I think I'd go mad. Madder than I am, I mean, if I had to live here.
Are you visiting them?
That's right. I'm here to stay with my grandparents over the holidays. My parents are pretty busy right now, so they dumped me here.
Man, she's so pretty. Oh, and she's from out of town. Man, I'm completely looking over the fact that she's in sheer and barely
Yeah.
anything underneath that sheer.
And it's fucking January.
Yeah.
Listen, they've already established she's crazy. It's fine.
Fair enough.
I've only been here a couple of days, but I'm already bored out of my tree. I couldn't sleep, so I went for a walk. Figured I might as well stretch my legs.
What the fuck do you mean bored out of my tree?
Right?
Either that's an
Mushrooms live on
Englishism-
trees, don't you know?
I was about to say, either that's literally an Englishism, or that is like a play on words.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a mushroom that's not from around here.
Yeah.
Bored out of my tree. That's the normal things that normal English girls say.
Sure.
My father.
Wouldn't
the
know my
Portobello-
girlfriend. She's from a different branch of the phylogenetic tree.
Yeah, bored out of my tree. The thing my Portobello dad used to say. Portobello?
Portobello.
I mean, portly, Dad.
Oh.
I'm not gonna read into this at all. Actually.
So pretty. I was afraid I'd go stir crazy otherwise. But maybe it's too late for that.
I see. Will you be staying in Oxbury for long? She's trying to see if she could hit it before
Yeah.
she scrolls.
My parents will be picking me up in a few days.
Oh, right. Of course.
Ethel tried to keep the disappointment from her voice when she spoke. Why should she care when the girl went home? She
Because
hardly
she's
knew her.
pretty.
She still didn't know her name, in fact. Maybe, Ethel thought worriedly, she should have asked that girl that first, before inquiring if she was a local to the area. That would have been the polite thing to do, but Ethel spoke to others so rarely, she found it difficult to know what the polite thing to do was.
Maybe you have ADHD or some kind of neurodivergence. I'm just letting you know that right now.
She
Yeah,
was
she's-
so awkward. Well, there was time enough to write this oversight.
Sorry, it just occurred to me. What?
I might not have been born here, but I am pretty familiar with the village. I know my way around rather well, which is how I wound up here. Not that that's saying very much, since there isn't all that much to know, but do you know what I mean?
Right.
Ethel blinked. Her plans to ask for the girl's name summarily scuppered. There was a small pause, then...
Do you come to Oxbury very often?
More often than I'd like. The place is pretty dead. But oh well. I wind up in Oxbury a lot during the holidays. My parents are always palming me off on my grandparents. I spend a lot of my summers here. A lot of my winters, too. Ugh. The summers here are depressing enough since there's nothing to do, but the winters are even worse. It's so cold and so dark. And it's so wet, too. It rains so much, and the ground gets all mulchy. Pretty miserable. No offense. I don't want to insult this place too much, not when you were born here. I hope you don't mind.
How do you know that? Like,
I didn't tell you I was born here! Silly
I
creature,
was
be
born
gone!
here. Wait a sec.
Gun!
It's not in the UK. Damn. Course.
Shiv!
No. She does just pull out a gun. And it turns out they were like in Germany or something.
She pulls out her torch and brandishes it. Offensive.
There you go.
It's fine. I'm not offended. Actually, I agree with you.
Well, good. I'm glad I'm not the only one. It's a different story with my grandparents, though. They love this place. They've been living here for, God, I don't know, their whole long lives, more or less, so they're pretty settled. They won't hear a bad word against Oxbury. They're obsessed. They were old, you know, when I was a kid, but they're even older now, if you can credit that.
Older than the
I
trees,
think that's
one
why
might
they
say.
like Oxbury. I think that's why they like Oxbury. He doesn't change. Just like them. Completely static.
Ethel frowned, lost in contemplation. The girl's voice was light, but there was something sad about her words, something which twisted Ethel's insides. When people reach their twilight years, typically when they pass into their 80s, it became almost impossible to discern their age from their appearance. There wasn't that much difference, or so Ethel had always thought, between an 80 and a 90-year-old. Old age had an anonymizing factor. It stripped the individuality out of people, rendering them indistinguishable from one another. As far as Ethel was concerned, old people were all white-haired and rheumy-eyed, their faces scored with wrinkles. Their fingers were choppy, their hands shook, and they complained of myriad problems: bad backs, bad eyes, bad hearts. Ethel didn't like the body she inhabited at the present. She'd been teased over her appearance once too many times. Yeah, we know. But she liked the thought of getting older even less. She didn't think she ever wanted to be 50, much less 80 or 90. She liked life too little to try and cling to it for all that long.
God, that's a mood.
What was the point?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My parents have been having my grandparents look after me since I was a kid. But I don't think they've ever been cut out for the job. They could never keep up with me. I was a wee little thing back then. About this tall.
The girl gestured with her right hand for emphasis.
But even then, I got this feeling I was no good for my poor old grandparents. I used to fret having to run around after me would drive them into their early graves.
It does have a little bit of weird writing. I don't blame you for that one shot.
Yeah. But it's been years since then, and they're both alive and kicking. Not literally. They're so old, I don't think they'd be capable.
Are you afraid they might dislocate their hips if they did that?
I've got to say, I didn't expect that from you. You're more fiery than you look.
Oh, I hope you don't mind.
Girl. Nah, I think it's funny. I like the contrast of your sweet exterior and your spicy interior. It was a surprise, but it was a pleasant one.
And I like spicy foods.
Sweet exterior, sweet and spicy, it's a great combination.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I'm particularly spicy.
Let me taste.
Quite vanilla, actually. But thank you.
Oh, vanilla's fine, too.
You're welcome. I hope you're not getting the wrong idea, though. I know I'm being mean about my grandparents, but I do love them. They're the only grandparents I have, but I owe them a lot. They're dear to me. But I've had to spend a lot of time with them in this pokey little village, and it does get stifling. Someday, I'd like to take off, see a bit more of the world. It's all very constricting.
What about your parents? Where do they live?
Oh, some tiny town not too far away from here.
That's not an answer. And they've never taken you on holiday with them before?
They've never bothered. Whenever they go anywhere, I've always been dumped here with my old folks. And let me tell you, they really are old.
They're older than the fucking islands.
Yeah, like, we fucking get it, girl. I'm not even sure if they're pushing 90. Maybe even 100.
100?
Ethel stared, all the while trying to solve some basic mental maths. Ethel's grandparents on her mother's side were relatively young as far as grandparents went, as they'd had her mother, when they were in their very early 20s. Her maternal grandmother was only 62. Her maternal grandfather, 66. Her paternal grandparents were a bit older. They were both in their mid-70s, but they weren't pushing into their 80s just yet. They definitely weren't close to 100. The girl's family must have skewed awfully old. Ethel was still trying to work this out. Something the girl seemed to notice because she smiled.
I'm exaggerating, of course.
Oh, right. Of course.
I'm not joking when I say they're old, though. I don't like being with them in their rank-smelling house. It's all brown and green and damp.
Why don't you take me back home to your place?
Yeah,
Hint, hint,
where it's
wink.
not so damp. The walls have rot, and it's moist all year round, so the window panes are all water. It's awful. I wouldn't stay here if I had a choice, but I don't really have any friends. And my family's pretty small, so
The girl shrugged.
I guess it could be worse. But I don't like having to spend all of my holidays out in this dump. I wish my parents would think about me a little bit more. But that's never gonna happen.
Because they're mushrooms.
They've always been so selfish. I almost read shellfish, just so you know.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know.
oh yeah, I'm half mushroom, half shellfish on my mother's side. The girl sighed. She sounded bitter.
Fungal crab.
Fungus crib. Unexpectedly so, given how tightly she'd spoken before. It was obvious that a degree of resentment shimmered beneath her seemingly reverent surface. Resentment which didn't seem to be buried all that deeply. Well, if she had inner demons, she wouldn't be the only one. She was only human.
Totally human.
Mm-hmm.
100%. Eyes in the correct place with the correct
I lo-
amount.
I love my
She had the
wife.
right amount of eyes.
I love my wife named the girl who I met in a church singing Ave Maria in the middle of winter. She wasn't wearing.
And every
Right.
time
Wearing a sundress.
every time we talk about names or I go to ask her her name, she immediately changes the subject.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It must not be intentional, though, obviously.
Obviously.
Yeah, she's just
Oh,
airheaded like that. It's fine.
yeah.
The girl suddenly gasped, wide-eyed as she stared at Ethel.
Where are my manners? I've spent all this time talking about myself, but I've not asked about you. You were born in Oxbury, weren't you?
Oh, yes, that's right. Also, it's getting kind of late for Bailey, so she might tap out soon.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna call it soon. I wanted to see if we could get to the end of this conversation, but we might have to stop a little earlier.
Yeah.
And still live here, I'm guessing?
With my parents and 2 brothers, yeah. Rowan and Manny.
Ah, I see. I don't have any siblings myself. No sisters or brothers. I always wonder what it would be like, though.
It's alright, I guess.
You don't sound too sure.
Well, it's hard for me to say what it's like. I've had brothers for most of my life. Rowan was born when I was 4, and Manny when I was 7, so I can't really remember what life looked like before they arrived.
I see. That sounds kind of nice. If I had a sibling or 2 to keep me company, maybe all this time with my grandparents wouldn't have been so bad. But who knows? Maybe they just annoy me. I don't know if I'd like to share my stuff with them either. I can be pretty selfish.
The girl's eyes glinted when she said this, with a spark of mischief which made Ethel's skin prickle. There was something a little unsettling about the way she looked at Ethel. Her eyes were intense, as though she meant to devour Ethel from tip to toe.
It's probably a good part.
But surely that was nothing more than a fancy.
So where's your family right now, Ethel? Are they back at home waiting for you? God, this is such an abductor's question.
Yeah.
I hope they're not worried about you. It's pretty late. I wouldn't want
I'm
to
joined the
leave.
mycelial network, Ethel.
We have babes.
One
Ethel.
of us.
You're seeing one of them right now.
No, it's just a cult.
It's
A
just a
mushroom
cold.
cult.
You'll be fine.
Did you read this already? Am I fool?
I did.
Okay.
No. It's fine. They will be waiting. I mean, they're not even home. They're gone to Australia.
Ew. Australia. So far away.
Oh, it's a shame Ethel didn't want to come with us on the family vacation.
I've never been before, but is it true that their seasons are all mixed up compared to ours?
They're reversed, yeah. Their winter is like our summer, or something to do with the hemispheres.
Crazy. I'm so used to wet, damp old Oxbury that I think it would take some time getting used to.
That's what I thought too. I was worried going there would throw me off, especially since it's so cold here.
Is that why you didn't want to go then? Did you turn down their invitation? Or did they not invite you?
They did, yeah. My ticket was booked and everything. Mum had been planning it for a few months. Ever since April this year, actually. She was pretty insistent that I accompany her. It was supposed to be a family holiday, but... well...
Ethel sighed. How, she wondered, was she supposed to explain her reasoning for staying behind to this girl? She wasn't entirely sure she understood her reasoning herself. She had overcomplicated things by being so moving. But wasn't that what she always did? She was forever making things more difficult. Not that she wanted to. It just seemed to happen.
Hey, Ethel. You didn't have an argument with your family, did you?
Oh, no, it's not like that. We're fine, really. Everything's fine.
Then why didn't you want to go? I'd leave England at the drop of a hat if I could. It's so wet and cold and... ugh. Can't stand it here. It's so gloomy. Australia sounds so much nicer.
It does sound nicer, but...
But...
The girl shifted a little closer to Ethel. So much so that their thighs brushed.
Don't you like being with your family? Don't you get on with them?
It's not that I don't get on with my parents. They're nice enough, I think. My mom nags me about my clothes and my hair sometimes. My dad can be a bit sensitive, maybe.
Ethel thought back on the numerous occasions she tried to practice her violin at home. Occasions which had been swiftly terminated by her dad telling her to put a cork in it, because he was trying to watch the telly.
But they're not bad parents. They're not abusive. Other people have it much worse. It's unfair for me to complain.
And yet, despite that, you still didn't want to go on holiday with them.
It's not like that.
What is it like then?
It's my fault, really. They haven't done anything wrong. It's me.
What's all you? I don't understand.
It's
Say it, Ethel. You must sign the contract with your words.
not that complicated, really. It's just, it's the way I think about things. My parents are fine. They're lovely even, and my brothers... We argue sometimes, but I think that's normal. All siblings argue. Clementine always picked fights with her sisters, too.
Clementine?
My...
Oh, girlfriend, Ethel was about to say, but that would have been a lie. Clementine wasn't her girlfriend anymore. They'd spoken so little after their breakup, Ethel was uncertain whether she was even her friend. What was Clementine to her now? Was she anything to her now?
She's... just a... that I know from university. We talked a bit.
Ah, a friend then.
We were friends. I don't know about now. Not that it matters. None of it does, really.
What does it matter?
My feelings, maybe. I've been a bit down, I guess.
I couldn't tell.
But it's all very silly, and mostly self-inflicted anyway. I just get like this in strange moods, I mean. That's what my mom says. She says I should buck up my ideas. Maybe she's right. It's not like I want to feel sad.
Of course you don't. I don't think anybody does.
But sometimes... No, most of the time, actually, I feel like a burden. I just bother my parents, my brothers, and Clementine, too. That's why I don't want to go on holiday with them. They insisted, but I don't know. They said that the holiday wouldn't be the same without me, which is probably right, but I think it would be for the better. I've been so gloomy, I don't think they want to put up with me. My parents were planning this holiday for ages. They were looking forward to it. That's why I didn't want to come along. I know I'm not in the right mood to enjoy it. I'll make everyone unhappy and then I'll spoil everything. I think...
Ethel's fingers, lying on her lap, curled in on themselves. Her nails, which were short and serrated, she'd been biting them lately, though it was a habit she'd tried for years to kick, digging into her palms. Her shoulders shook. Then, very quietly, she said,
I think they would be happier without me.
Clementine certainly had been. Who was to say that her family wouldn't share her opinion?
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said all that. I was being silly, really. I know my parents care. Obviously they do. It's just sometimes... Discord probably ate it.
Oh, okay, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Shh. Ethel started, surprised. The girl was sitting even closer to her than before. Their fingers twined together and her eyes round, almost owl-like in their concern.
I
Ethel stammered, stunned by the sudden, unexpected closeness. Stunned, too, by the sensation of the girl's skin upon her own. Her hand was icy cold.
It's alright. You don't need to try to explain yourself. Not to me. I understand how you feel. I understand only too well.
You do?
A little. You aren't the only person who's been feeling lonely. But I wish you wouldn't be so very hard on yourself. Don't say that nobody cares.
I know I shouldn't. Childish to think that way. Of course my parents care, but
They don't make you feel like they do.
Ethel looked into the girl's eyes, held captive by the intensity of her gaze. And, well, her gaze. For a few moments, she could do nothing except sit there. And I think I'm going to call it right here.
yeah.
I think that's a good spot.
Tension.
Oh, the first night, relentless.
Oh.
What? This girl obviously has honest and sweet intentions to help Ethel.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There is a gallery.
Oh, fun. I like that.
Yeah.
I like this sketch in particular. It's very good.
Yeah.
It's very pretty. I really like it.
The heels, the dress is beautiful. The thigh gap, nice touch.
Oh, really? There's a music player? And
Yeah.
there's
Oh,
something
that's
lost.
fun.
To be
I
fair,
like that.
Malpractice, that's my favorite thing.
we haven't unlocked it.
Fromage cherry.
Yeah, the music in this game's really fucking good.
Am
The
I wrong?
music in the other game was good too.
Mm.
Wait, in fromage in French, isn't that cheese?
Yeah, cheese
Correct.
Cherry cheese.
Cheese cherry. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well-
If we have the same crew next week, we'll do this again. I'm enjoying this so far.
Yeah, this is fun.
We're doing
Yeah,
our usual thing where we take the piss out of it. A
Yeah.
little bit.
I love it.
I don't know about y'all, I'm completely invested in the story.
Yeah, right?
I do feel like, compared to the other story we've done from the same creator, It's So Lonely here. I feel like, yeah, it's still very wordy, but that's just kind of like the style of it. But it
What-
doesn't seem to be quite as winded.
What it
Yes,
feels like
I would agree.
to me is it's this author's specific way to make the main character not feel like a self-insert.
Yeah.
Because it is just a lot of exposition in the end.
And the exposition is fine. It's just not long-winded otherwise, which is nice.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
that part is nice. I like that the actual character dialogue is pretty succinct and
I also think that a lot of it is that you're in her head, and in her head she overthinks fucking much.
yeah. Girls
Well,
got
yeah, and that's the
problems.
thing you can get out of a novel and in writings and things like that you can't get out of other media, you know?
Yeah. And it is a visual novel, so.
It is. But yeah,
I will say this is only the second visual novel I have been privy to and played / sat in on. The only other one being I Love You, Colonel Sanders. So
Yeah.
a bit of a different experience.
Yeah, a bit of a different.
yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'll be it. So, everybody say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone. I enjoyed being with y'all.
Yeah, thank you for joining us.
No problem.
Next time.
I'm gonna cut this thread.